Here we go. Boy, it's going to be a great show. Very excited about tonight's show. It's been a long week. It feels like it's been a real long week since last week's show, but I want to say what's up to everybody, man. It's warm in New York, man. It's still hot. It's about 88 degrees. I know some of you guys live in warmer states, warmer climates around the world, but, it is warm here, and it's just like, my God, it feels like everybody in New York's moving in slow motion, me being one of them. But I want to say shout out to everybody. This is a special show. You guys remember from last week, we were talking about this, and I was saying how, it was going to be Crap Slash Show. And of course, listen, the podcast gods work very funny, right? So they were like, you know what? It's not going to be Crap Slash Show. Next week will be Crap Slash Show. And unless there's storms going on in Florida again, which I hope there's no storms in Florida. But I do want to say this much, guys. I want to say thanks to everybody. It's been a hell of a week. Great response, too, from last week's show. Lots of views, lots of likes, lots of comments. Guys, please remember something. The likes and the comments on the show really do help the channel. And speaking of helping the channel, right above that wonderful description you can see below, that description that basically tells you the essence of this evening, is a join button. And, there's a couple things that are kind of hitting the heart tonight as well, is having one of our great Mooch Maniac family members on the panel tonight. And I'll explain why that means so much to me as well. So let me say this much. Let me thank each one of these guys, and then I'll tell you why. The great SirXMan, JudaZuk, WoolleyGamer, Frostbite Slash, MumbleRanting Gaming, TysonWeb509, TrueWiddy, Kn1ght Ripper7, Big Chuck 777, Alphonso Carter, BRAP, Jamie, Damion, CJUK, the great Jimmy Harrison, which, by the way, guys, let me take a second here and just say, I know he's in the room. Jimmy saw me on PlayStation the other night. I was playing some Modern Warfare, and he says, hey, Mooch, you got a minute? I said, absolutely. And I hung out with Jimmy for a while. And, Jim, honestly, great conversation. It was an honor to speak to you. And I got to get the man on the podcast. He's just a lot of fun to talk to. And I think the community would love to hear from Jimmy. So the great Jimmy Harrison, who's out there. Jim, anytime. Guys, always, you see me online, hit me up on Xbox, PlayStation. Of course, we'll always talk games. Have a great time. Zombilla Ice Cream, Andy Hart, DadOfWar, Isaac Gentry, our major Mooch Maniacs. I see him right there. He's right there. Fake Man Bear Pig. Don't change that name ever. Gaming with Persona, Jay Bari, who are both doing, they're actually taking What's Up PlayStation off tomorrow. They are not on tomorrow. They're coming back on August 6th. So shout out to Gaming with Persona and Jay Bari. Thank you for supporting the channel. Domino Zero, Supreme Samurai, Who Are You 5, your boy Roy, Smokes901, Tactical Gamer, Danelle Brown, That Guy Spinny, 4-Star General, a.k.a. Delirium Blades, Brian B. I said it backwards. That's me. That's my problem. It's my fault. Our VIP Mooch Maniacs, Shadow Assassin, Rated D Demonic, Strictly. Shout out to Strictly Gaming, the Wise Old Gamer, Percolator 9000, the great Percolator 9000, actually, to you guys. And our honorable mentions, you're out there without food, water, or toilet, come home. The great Marty Bison, Olamoka 17, Fork Boy Gaming, Rate the Emperor, Remarkable Knights, and our forever Mooch Maniac Longshot 316. Shout out to Domino Zero. He says, Super Chat's working. It's a blessing. Just upgraded to Switch OLED. Domino, I also did the same thing. And when it came out, it's night and day difference with the Switch OLED. Guys, please tweet it out. Hit the like button. Let people know we're here. But, there's a couple of special things about this evening, guys, before we get into gaming topics, and we have plenty to talk about. And that is the great SirXMan is with us tonight. SirXMan has been a dear friend of mine for a very long time. Always supporting Crap and I through basically anything we've ever done in podcasting. He's been a supporter of the channel. And like I said, just an overall amazing gamer. Okay, this man puts games, and when he talks games, he's talking from the heart. And speaking of that, our great SirXMan recently went under some heart surgery. And I'm just very grateful to have the great SirXMan joining us tonight on the show. So SirXMan, I'm more than pleased to have you on tonight, but it's an absolute pleasure. As a matter of fact, all the honor is yours this evening, my friend. How are you feeling, SirXMan? Everything all right?
I'm getting better. I'm just healing up and recouping from all the things I had to go through the past month. So it's been a life-opening experience. And I've actually learned that I didn't know I had that many people that thought about me. So everybody in the community, I just want to thank you and appreciate all of you for the way you made me feel inside. And it helped me through a lot of the drama of what I was going through.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much, and give it to Luca.
There it is. The great
It don't
SirXMan.
sound right. It just don't sound right.
Your
Give
voice
it to Luca.
I gotta get my voice back. Now crap sounds like the old me.
He
That
does.
is right.
No, I mean, a funny story is, man, is he used to call up, I think, every week on
Yeah.
NBC Mornings, and he'd
Always.
always like have something cool to say, and that's what the show's all about. I remember back a while ago, man, we used to get people would message us, Mooch, and they would say, hey,
Yes.
I'm going through this, or I'm homeless, or this or that. We're going through so much, so thanks for being entertaining. And I think people sometimes forget that that's what it's all about. So,
That's right.
SirXMan, God bless, man. I honestly hope for a super speedy recovery, and I'm sure you.
And
will
when
do
you
just
come
that.
back, crap, and when you come back, you two need to get Mooch in the morning back. This ain't no bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I hope so, man. The only thing that I've said, and I've said it to Mooch, is like that show was like such a thing, like a production, and that's how I liked it. Like when we were doing the skits and we had the songs.
You guys changed everything in the podcast world.
But if we can't do that level, which requires a third party to do it,
Mhm.
it would be very tough to pull that off, because I don't want to just do a regular show, because everybody's doing a regular show. Like my grandma's probably doing a regular show, right? But I want to do a show, like be able to take the live calls and and do that kind of stuff,
No one still does that to this day.
Yeah.
You guys were the only one that's ever done that, and still.
I really appreciate that, SirXMan. I think Crap nailed it. Crap, I want you to definitely have your time here, but I wanted to give you a rightful speech as well. I know, Crap, last week the thunderstorms kind of interrupted, and I kind of I got a little choked up myself while I was talking about all the times we've had on podcasting. And listen, we never speak in absolutes, Crap. You know that. We never say never.
Yeah.
So I like to say this is an extended break. I don't like to say any other way about it, but Crap, me and you, now that you're here and I can talk to you about it, it's been so many years, right? I mean, we've actually spent more time probably hanging out than we did with our families over the last 8-9 years. And, I said, same thing, got to give credit. Shout out to Next Gen 720, Zaire. I still think one of the most entertaining people on YouTube. Meeting him and then meeting you right after and then doing shows with you afterwards. It's just been an unbelievable ride, Crap. And, listen, for me personally, I say that I never speak in absolutes because I know that we will be podcasting again. This is something I truly feel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people were wondering, it just has to do with like the cost of everything's going up. And so, my schedule changed to fit in more work. And so, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's tough to do everything, and then still be able to kind of be what you need to be for your family. So really it all comes down to it. There was nothing like, oh damn, I hate these people. It was nothing like that. I just can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't fit in all that, into my daily thing anymore. It's just like
life happens, Mooch.
Yeah, it does.
I'm
and so
impressed,
as much as I like, like it's my hobby and stuff like that and talking about video games, I love that. It's like, and listen, right now, let's just be honest. It's like one of the most dry times that I can remember. Like, thankfully, Mooch, we went through a period from 2016 to 2020 where there was new hardware coming every single year, right? 2016, we got the Pro. We were able to talk about it. I got the documents for Neo. Then came 2017 with the 1X, and then, then they already announced the Series X at the same time, pretty much. So, we knew that hardware people liked hearing about. There's always something to talk about, and now it's like, there's not as much, and there's like a million different places talking about the same things. So it's not as, and it's like I think that, with some time off, just kind of doing my other thing, I'll be able to. And like I said, like if there's E3s or something special, and I have some time, then I'll stop by. So it's not the end of that by any means. But it's just like I don't want to be like, well, expect me to show up every. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I also don't want to be like, well, is he going to show up this week or not? You know what I mean? I didn't like that. So I was just going to say, I'm going to step back away from that for right now. And it's like, listen. I was doing these little crummy videos in 2013, and they were mostly for my gaming clan because they were like wanting me to review games because even back then I was always getting games, and so I was doing these reviews for them mostly. I did one video about how I was excited for the Xbox One and I was going to buy it. I could only afford one at launch. I was getting an Xbox One over a PS4. Well, holy hell. You would have thought that, you know what I mean? Like, you would have thought, like, something crazy was got, like, yeah, like, everybody was just in on that, you know, like, just the hate just started going. Next Gen found me. We started doing BGST. And really, honestly, it wasn't that I thought, you know, because for me, I had every console connected to the internet since the Dreamcast, honestly. So, and I won't play the newer consoles if I'm not connected anyway, because it like you can't see. I don't know how it is on PlayStation, but your achievements won't pop unless you're connected. So it's like to me, it was always like, so I won't play if I'm not connected anyway. You know,
Right.
So I like that connectivity. So it wasn't as big a deal to me. They showed off Killer Instinct, which was my favorite fighting game from when I was a kid. I was in, man. Rise looked good. Forza Motorsport 5 looked good. Titanfall looked like that was going to be the next big thing, and it was for me. It was. I put hundreds of hours into it, right? It was amazing. Sunset Overdrive looked dope. I love that game. I played it, beat it. But people were really on the attack and the offensive. And so Next Gen found me. We found this little niche. And then we were doing the E3 coverage. And everybody was down on Microsoft's E3. And I was like, this is crazy, man. I thought it was pretty good. So Mooch, who was a fan, was on Twitter. And he was like, man, I don't know what they're talking about. You know, it was such a good E3. So I was like, dude, let's hop in here and we'll do a video. And we did. And, and the rest is history. You know, we had good chemistry right away.
Absolutely.
And so we started podcasting and just kind of doing all that kind of stuff. And it was like it was a fun thing to do because we could play so well off each other. And I got to admit, listen, some days you just are like Mooch is always on for some reason. For me, not so much. And a lot of that has to do with like Mooch was the only one behind the scenes knew that I was hurt, that I was in a wheelchair, that I was going through all that kind of stuff. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, depression, all kinds of stuff. And so some days were harder to get up and do this stuff than others, and you got to be in the right mindset to kind of put up with that. So, I'm always grateful that, we had what I thought was really good, entertaining show stuff that people still aren't doing, like the way that we were able to handle that and like M&C Mornings. Like I went back and I rarely go back and listen to shows, but I listened to our interview with Craig Duncan that we did on M&C Mornings right before Sea of Thieves came out. And it's so informative, like stuff that we even know about now when people are always like, well, is Rare going to make a new Banjo-Kazooie? Well, the head of Rare told us back then.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, like he told us back then, listen, we're not going to do and go back. We want to look forward and make new IP, but other studios, if they, have that passion to make something that we used to do, then, they can do that, right? So we know for a fact that, when we got so much and it was just such an entertaining thing and, it's always fun to kind of talk video games. And so I think that's probably the thing, especially around E3 time. Now it's changed a little bit, but there were some E3s, Mooch, when everybody was trying to, I don't know if they were really getting along or whatever, but I did my best to, because everybody wants to get the views for the E3 shows, right?
Yep.
So what I did was, I was like, instead of everybody competing against everybody, why don't we get everybody, the Rands and the dealers and the Colts and the me and the yous and the next, why don't we go on and like everybody will get on everybody else's show at a specific time, and that way everybody gets a piece of the action. And I was actually kind of planning those, like, and we were doing that, right? And it was, I mean, it took us all day. Like some days we would broadcast for 10, 12 hours, right? And I was tired, man. You just felt like you were just beat by the end of the day, but everybody was, thankful, and everybody got their own thing going, and it was, you know what I'm saying? And that was back when I don't think everybody really cared about each other, but I just thought that people didn't want to ruffle feathers, and they agreed with the logic that it made sense to do that. It
was a long day, crap. But we would start with our show, and like you said, we would go on. Everyone went on everyone's show, and we would start at like 11 o'clock in the morning. I remember we got done at almost 9 o'clock at night, and you almost lose your voice. Because in all honesty, you're talking for about 9 hours with maybe an hour and a half break once in between. And, the other thing that you had mentioned, crap, that I think the audience needs to know, and shout out to Dark Optimist and WillMeHood that are here as well. That's why I said this is going to be a special episode here, especially in the beginning. I wanted to talk about this. These guys podcast as well. And, crap, the one thing that I think that you said when you were like, listen, I've got a lot of things going on right now, and, you're working even more than you were before. And people don't realize how time consuming podcasts are. Like they are, you know what I mean? So it really, well, I love this show. I love MNC. I love Xbox Nation. And Xbox Nation was your baby, but I'm saying when I go to fire up CrossFire every week, I take a lot of TLC. You guys see it. I mean, the guys behind the scenes, you can ask Wilma, you can ask Dark. Well, don't ask Dark. But you can ask Crap. I send 10, 12, 13 topics every week, and I have all the articles here in front of me. I also take time to edit new footage every week so that you guys have a different screen to look at, so there's different gameplay, different this and that. Sometimes a little bit's regurgitated here or there, but for the most part, and I edit that every single week, and I take time to always get different people on the show. As you can see, you guys can watch the last 10 episodes. We have different guests. Sometimes different panel members, too. People can make it, sometimes people can't make it. But, it's booking guests and the proper, sometimes weeks, like Crap said, this is a really dry time for gaming news, guys. I don't need to tell you that. You guys know that. But there's still stuff going on in the community, but you got to kind of do your research, get your articles, have stuff to talk about. And, between that, the video editing and the time consumption, an hour before the show, sometimes it takes upwards of an hour after the show. We do a post show sometimes. And there's also the whole stuff you do on YouTube. It can be time consuming. And at this point that Crap's talking about, we were doing 3 shows, sometimes 4 shows a week. We were doing Xbox Nation, CrossFire, MNC, and BGST early on. There was a lot going on. So,
hey, Mooch.
Yes.
It's never really dry in gaming. It ain't like the movies when it's over. There's always.
I agree. There's always something. But is that always something going to be delivered to the audience in a method or a fashion that they want to listen to? That's
the way you do it, the way you guys do it, and can explain it. Oh yeah.
I appreciate
the audience will grapple.
I'll be honest about this, SirXMan. I'll explain it like this, okay? So I'm a very on here, I'm outgoing, but when some people meet me and they find out that I do podcasts, like my wife will do this, right? She'll bring me around her friends and and the kids will go swimming or there'll be a cookout or something. I'm introverted when I'm around people for the most part, and some people will be like, and will look at me weird, and my wife will be like, "Well, you don't really talk much," and I'm like, there wasn't really a topic that really caught my attention. If you guys want to talk about The Simpsons or video games or Star
WWE.
Wars or WWE, right? I was like, I would have went off, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's
crap.
Yeah,
you meet a gamer, and it's like, oh my God, I got somebody I could talk about it with at this boring ass party.
Yeah. And so that's how it is. There's stuff to talk about, but is Destiny 2, that's not gonna, PC gaming or cloud gaming. That stuff, that stuff isn't gonna pique my interest.
It's that your thing.
So it's really disingenuous. I'm not gonna have a strong opinion on some of that stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that that's probably where some of the passion stuff comes from. I'm very passionate about stuff like E3 time because it's great because we get a lot of new games and stuff like that. But just on the average day-to-day thing or whatever, for the most part, some of the stuff I just don't care about. So it's hard to feign interest in it. And that's sort of one of the reasons why Xbox Nation stopped. It's just at that time, and there was no lies there, I wasn't having fun with Xbox. People don't believe that, but I was going from getting 20 to 25,000 gamer score a year on Xbox to I think 2019 I got 6,000 or 5,000, and then I got 9,000 the following year. So now I'm back up to 20,000+ a year. But there was really a legit 2-year period there where I was more on PlayStation.
You got burnt out from the bullshit.
And so I wasn't having fun. YouTube changed things around. It was they made it a little bit more complicated if you wanted to do a podcast, right? You had to do
it used to be
the
so
OBS
easy.
stuff.
You used to just go live and you just went on the air.
Yeah, you had people in there. Now it's like
it away. They took it away.
They took it away, and so it was between that and not having fun, it wasn't. The show was actually really successful even up until I stopped it. I just I wasn't having fun, and I felt like I didn't want to be disingenuous to people. And also, now I'm back on proper the medication and stuff. I tend to hyper focus on negativity. It's what I do. So for me, it was something that I kind of drove into the ground and realized that now it's okay, I should have probably talk about it and then move on. on, you know, and now I have this kind of rule.
Crap is like
weird?
I'm in DMs with Crap. Crap's like gaming Tony Robbins. He's legitimately one of the happiest people about gaming now. You guys, it's not an act. He's legitimately like that. And actually, Crap, even when we were going back and forth earlier today, me and Xbox, shout out to Xbox 448, by the way, he's working tonight. I even said that. I'm like, remember you were like, well, it's clear you don't like this. We'll move on. Let's just have some fun, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, I learned that from Crap. You know, it's like if you don't like something, there's really no sense in arguing with anybody about it. It's just clearly they have a different taste, and that's fine. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can have a difference of opinion, Crap.
It's like me and Crap. We disagree on a lot of things, but we agree on a lot of things. But we don't take it that seriously. We just having fun. And me and Crap know when to, okay, we made our points, we're done. Instead of people carrying on arguments all the time.
All right, enough of this sentimental crap.
So I just want to say, like I have a 24-hour rule now, where I'll complain about something, but then the next day it's like I'm done and over with. Like, you know, and the thing that I'll bring up is like The Last of Us Part 1 remake. I talked about it. We did the show on it. You know, and afterwards, like I'm done with it. I'm personally not getting it. I've kind of explained about my point of view, but I don't want to also because growing up, man, we never had much money, and I didn't get a whole lot of stuff for Christmas sometimes. And I used to hate it when people would disrespect the stuff I got. You know what I mean? Like make it sound like it wasn't great. To me, it was always the greatest thing I ever. Right. So I always hate like pissing on people's stuff like that they're excited for. Like let people be excited for stuff. You know, like there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, damn, you know, not everything has to be negative. Let others be excited for something once in a while. And so I also try to do that as much as possible. Sometimes I got to hold it in a lot where I'm like, ooh, that really kind of pisses me off, but I'm not going to crap all over other people's stuff anymore. And I try not to do that. So, you know, hopefully that goes in. And now I guess Optimus can go ahead and speak his piece there. I just wanted to get that out.
fuck all the shit that you like, Crap. All right.
We probably like some of the same stuff, man.
I know, right, dude?
I'm sure you guys do. The great Goldblum. You know, let me introduce Goldblum. Goldblum is here to join us from the West Coast. He brings over that whole new flavor of seasoning to the East Coast. Goldblum, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I bring over paprika, you know.
I
don't even know what you would put on it.
The unspicy
you know, what you would
spice.
make
yes,
to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. That's great. No, great to have you. And also,
man, I'm happy to be here, dude.
It's great to have you here, buddy. Honestly, it really is. Well, yeah, as much as you possibly could be, Dark. And let me also introduce the great WillMeHood. Willme, like I said, tonight's gonna be it was a special episode. Like we had Crap on last week, and the storms in Florida knocked him right off the show. He was on the show, then he was off the show. But Willme, outstanding to have you back here as well. You also went through not quite. I don't know if it was quite as much as SirXMan. It's not a competition by no means, but you went through hell yourself, and now you're back up and you're running at 100%. So it's great to have you here as well, Willme. How you been?
I have seen better days, but you know, let me just say one thing to your chat.
Yes,
I know you can check credentials for a lot of people in your life. It would be really good if you could check a fucking doctor's credentials first.
Yep.
So
yes,
but you know, I spent a week in a wheelchair after I finally got home from the hospital.
Hey, I apologize for that. Okay.
You know, all this crazy shit. I actually died twice.
Jeez, man.
My God.
Dude. And the fucked up part is, if you know me, if you follow me at all, you know I'm a fucked up individual. I'm not scared to admit it. I post crazy shit on social media all day long. That's what I do. I like to make people laugh. I want everybody to have a good time. But you know, there was a point a month ago where my family was told by a doctor that there was a good chance when I woke up I would not have my memory.
My God.
And I wouldn't even know who I was. Luckily, the first thing when my eyes popped open and I was conscious, I started fucking telling jokes and making my family laugh. So,
and they knew they got their Willme back.
Yep. Luckily, I made it completely back, and I am glad. This is actually my first podcast in a month and a half.
Well, you
know,
know,
I am glad to be back.
I'm honored to have you, Willme, because we were talking in the DMs. And Willme says, you know what, Mooch, I'm just about at 100%. And he even said to me, he goes, not this week, when we were talking a few weeks back. He goes, not this week, but I want to get back into it. And I said, well, how about this? You know, I threw this date. I said the 29th. He goes, book it. Done. So I said, let's do this.
Dude. I was determined. I mean, and the thing is, dude, you know, and X-Man can tell you, man, laying in a hospital bed, dude, Oh my god, it's fucking torture.
It really is. It
Depressing.
really is. No, but Dark, this should be up your alley.
Every time you try to go to sleep,
But
they
Dark,
just come wake your ass up and shit like that.
I'd feel
We
like
need
I'm at
to
home,
draw
huh?
from you. Oh, we need to give you your pills. I'm like, damn, I lost 50 pounds in the goddamn hospital for a month.
Dude, don't feel bad, man, because I'm a small dude. I know that everybody says gamers are big fat dudes.
That
I'm
ain't true.
5'10", and I weighed 160 pounds, and I went to the hospital. I came out. I was still 5'10", but I weighed 120 fucking pounds.
oh my God, Wilmy.
Jeez.
Dude, I
Look,
literally looked like
I
I
was
had
two-
been.
I
I looked
was
like I had been
200
cracked
and-
out on a street corner sucking dick for beer
I
money.
know, right? I was 200
Crap.
I mean, dude,
200
I looked
and
rough.
55 pounds, Wilmy. By the time I got out of there, I was 205,
Crap. But last time I was 125
Damn.
pounds, I was in 4th grade.
and I'm 6'2".
You know?
Yeah,
That's-
I mean, you're
crap,
taller than
I'm
me,
like-
dude.
I'm- crap, you're 6'5". When was the last time you
I
were
was-
125 pounds?
I was a kindergartner. Mooch.
Holy shit! But the good side of it is though. Luckily,
I was never
all
125 pounds.
the good thing about it, all
I
the
was a
shit's
fat
gone.
baby.
I'm healing up, and I've actually gained. I'm back up to 153 now. So
Yeah, they want you to get some of that muscle back, because that's
man,
what
you
you
got
lose.
to, dude, because I couldn't even fucking stand up, man. I
That's me.
came home in a wheelchair.
Yeah, well,
And
I
I'm here
can't
to tell you,
remember
if
the
you got
name, but I
anybody-
know.
Anybody in your chat that's disabled and you're in a wheelchair, man, I give you
Yeah.
credit. I don't know how you do it day to day. I was in a wheelchair for
I
a
was
week.
for a month, man. A
Yeah,
month.
crap.
Holy
It was a few
shit,
months, I think.
man.
Crap. Yeah.
Getting there, getting
Yeah.
in out of a
Dude, I
bed.
don't know.
That shit
It drove
sucked,
me.
getting
It
in
drove
and
me
out of a bed.
crazy for a week.
Yeah, it's a bad situation. You know, it's not great.
And the
Well,
bad
yeah,
part,
it
I've got a pit bull. She's like 100 pounds, and she wanted me to play, and she would jump up on my wheelchair and push me halfway across the house.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
You know, it just
having the great WillMeHood here, and Wilmy, you being so dynamic, okay, so dynamic on Twitter. Let me start. I like to put guests on the hot seat. I want to ask you this question. I want to get your take on it. So there's been a lot of talk recently about the whole new GTA 6 that's coming out, and now it's going to be female protagonists co-starring in the game. And honestly, myself personally, I'm so sick, and I'm really, and I mean this in a good way. I mean, I still play GTA 5, but I've been playing GTA 5 since 2012. At this point, you can put Mooch and Crap in GTA 6, and I think I'd be ecstatic about it. Well, naturally, but I mean, Wilmy, what do you think when you hear about the changes that are coming to GTA 6, and you know all the some of it's popular and some of it's backlash. Where are you on all this in the GTA world and what Rockstar's doing? Apparently, they have a whole new methodology and culture within the Rockstar workforce.
I got 2 words for you: Laura Croft. I mean, it's not a new thing, dude.
It's not.
I mean, it's not new. You just the problem with social media, and actually, I think everybody will agree. A lot of podcasts are the same way. Everybody has a fucking opinion, and
know.
not everybody needs to tell it. You know, some shit, just keep it in your own head. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
the world doesn't need to know your thoughts. But this isn't anything new. Tomb Raider's been around for how many decades? This is not new. I don't know why people are complaining. Who cares if there's a woman going to be the main character?
It really makes.
I don't
makes,
get it.
Listen, to me personally, I actually even like how they're doing it. And this is shout out to the folks at Bloomberg. I believe they reported it first. But you know, I want to say this much: they're saying it would be a man and woman kind of Bonnie and Clyde, which I think actually sounds pretty damn interesting to me personally. Where we had Trevor, Franklin, and Michael, the 3, I found myself using just 2 usually throughout the game. I thought 3 was a bit cumbersome. I'm excited about having the 2. And shout out to Only on Xbox. GTA 5 did come out in 2012, didn't it? I thought it came out the year before. I thought it came out the year before the
came
new
out-
consoles.
Came out
2013.
2013.
Yeah, it came
Okay,
out
2013.
2013. Yeah.
Okay, 2013. Only
Yeah.
on Xbox goes, Mooch, you're tripping. I was off by a couple of months. Everybody's a critic, Wilmy.
You were off by a whole year, dude. What are you talking
What
about?
if I,
Well, that's a couple of months. Depends on how you look
I
at
was
it.
just going to say, what if I was talking about
I
December
guess.
2012? Nonetheless, when did it come out, Crap? What was it? What month in 2013?
I think it came out
was
in.
September.
Oh, I thought you looked it up. My apologies.
GTA.
I think it was September.
So it was September. It came out before the consoles came out in November, and they came out in
Yeah.
September. Okay, so it was 2013. I said 2012. We're talking about, are we splitting hairs? 10 years?
Yes,
9
we are.
years?
September 17th,
There you go.
2013. Yeah.
My apologies, not in advance. Oh my God. Something else. You know, I'm sitting here giving an example.
People still playing that damn game too, man. It's
Of course
crazy.
they are. It's like number one on the
Tons of
charts
people
every
still
single
play it.
month. But what do you think, Crap? I mean, what's your take on this? I mean, is this just a bunch of nonsense in the news of people saying it, or is there a reason to be upset with Rockstar?
I don't particularly care that they put a woman in there, right? Because I think one of the better Assassin's Creeds did that, where you had a brother sister, the combination, where it was a pretty good one. But I think the point where some people might be worried, which would be that, you know, Rockstar has always pushed boundaries when it comes to this stuff, like the jokes and the content, you know, go around, bang a hooker, then kill the hooker, get your money back, right? Is it still going to do that kind of stuff?
Right.
I think that's probably, like, people wonder if it's going to get, you know, a little bit
I don't see them taking that out. I don't think they'll take that out.
I think I don't know if they're going to take that out specifically, but I do, like, obviously they've gone back and they've edited older games from jokes and things like that. So I could definitely see them taking it easy on some of the stuff that maybe they in the previous games had no problems covering. You know, but you know, again, it's a different type of day and age. They're not even crunching on this game, so you know. It's a different call. You can't get away with crunching anymore. People, like, you know, you got Jason Schreier outside your house.
Yeah, he's out
you
there.
guys
He's out there. Yeah, he's the crunch police.
He's like Candyman, right? You mentioned crunch and he shows up.
He does.
So yeah,
God, that would be a scary sight.
It would be. It would be. But, like, you know, you can't get away with it. Even Cory Barlog was like, yeah, we had to delay God of War Ragnarok for the health. And, you know, obviously he's speaking to crunch. They're not going to crunch. You could not get away with that. Like, the backlash would be way too much.
Yeah.
So you have to come out and say that. So I think, and I've dabbled with GTA before. I played GTA 4 for a while, and then I was like, probably 20 hours in, I had like 45 gamer score. I was like, nuts to this. You know, I mean, I hate to be a gamer score guy because I don't go for every game, like every piece of gamer score. But if I'm 20 hours into a game, I should have, you know, something. That's why part of my problem with The Witcher 3, right? It was be like you just play it and play it and play it, and there's like nothing really there to showcase it. And, you know, I like achievements and trophies. So, you know, and GTA 5 was kind of the same way. I liked the story. I got into it. I'm a good part into the story. And, you know, and I had like 75 gamer scores.
Well, they're very, very reluctant to give you any gamer score or trophies. Crap, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's like Fortnite, right? Like you look on Fortnite, you can play that, you know, a million hours and you wouldn't get anything because I think most of the achievements are for the single player portion.
Yep.
And who the hell has played that? I mean, I played a couple of chapters, I think, but I think that was before. Remember, Mooch? We got it gifted to us. That's right. Back in the day on M&C mornings. That's right. Before the Battle Royale was even in it.
It wasn't there
People
yet.
gifted us like the founders pack or whatever it was. I remember, man. This was like years and years ago, and me and you were like, "Yeah, it's okay." You know what I mean? And then,
yeah.
It was, and then. And then they put in the Battle Royale part, and I still remember this, and I was wrong on this case, because you asked a question. You're like, do you think it'll surpass PUBG? And I was all about PUBG at the time. Yeah. And I was playing that game every damn night. And I was like, nah, you know, it'll never surpass the original, and then here it is years later. Not that PUBG does bad. I mean, PUBG still has it's, I think, a top 15 game on Xbox and a top 5 game on Steam. So, you know, it's doing well as well. So, you know, I just think to me it was a little bit more realistic or whatever. But yeah, it's like you can just tell, like, you know, the difference is there. But when it comes to GTA, I think it's going to be a kinder, gentler GTA. Yeah, they'll push the limits where they can, but I think they're not going to push them the way that they had previously. And so I think that's going to be, you know, people will probably figure it out and kind of rate about it one way or the other. So, you know, I guess that's just kind of the day and age we live in nowadays. You know, you can't really, as you know, Mooch, you can't really get away with much.
No, you can't. You really can't. Shout out to Tactical Gamer. He's saying, it's 2022, Mooch. He's like, where's my Sadie Adler art Red Dead Redemption 2 spinoff? You know, Tactical, that's a great question. And, you know, Crap, you make a good point there. You know, before I give my opinion on it, I want to, Dark, I know that, you know, you're over there in the the great state of California. What's going on over there? What's your take on this? Is there any difference on your opinion as you read these articles?
Oh no, dude. I mean, I think honestly, for me personally, I think it's exciting because I'm Latino, so I mean, apparently she's going to be Latina, so
Yep.
it's an exciting moment for anybody who's part of the Latin culture.
Absolutely.
Because it's like finally, we're getting recognized um in games and stuff. I mean, we've been recognized here and there, in gaming, and I think we're starting to build more towards that, more and more as we go along in the generations of video games. But yeah, I had no problems with it, man. I was just like, oh, sweet, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would rather have it where they could do where you could choose, like if you wanted to play as her or if you wanted to play as that other character, you could. So like you have a choice of, kind of like how Assassin's Creed Odyssey did it, where you had the choice of
Great point.
picking Cassandra,
Yes.
or you had to pick the other guy. I forgot his name. I only played as Cassandra because she was a better character in anyways.
Right.
But you had that, being able to pick or choose which one you want to play as. I think if they did something like that, then it would definitely make. I think it would be there would be less of a backlash, as it were, for this kind of stuff, which is completely ridiculous, to be honest. I don't understand why people are so hell bent on making things,
Because you have to
certain
have
way.
a penis, Dark. Apparently, you have to have a penis to play GTA.
I guess,
But I want to
mean,
know, if you can play as a woman, can you pick up male hookers and kill them and take your money back?
Why
that
not?
would be interesting.
That only
That
sounds
would
fair,
be
right,
very
Wilmy?
Hey, dude,
interesting.
it's only fair because I mean, look back in history, dude, at all the weird serial killers and shit. They always picked up hookers and killed them. We've been giving women a lot of shit, dude, for years. It's time they get the revenge. You know what I'm saying?
It's so true, Wilmy. No, I think
Definitely.
that, I like where Dark went with that. I don't know why it's always you're either forced one or the other. I like it. What Valhalla did was a great example. Give people the choice, But in this case, I will say, as much as I like your opinion on it, Dark, Grand Theft Auto has done this thing, at least from GTA 5 till now, is where you're not one character. The story purposefully goes through the two, but then as the game progresses, you can pick one and kind of roll with it. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, you'll probably be able to do what you're asking. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, that makes sense, but I think if they do it right out of the gate, it would just be so much better.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, again, I agree with you, but because of the way they're going to build the story, where they collaborate and work together, it may be a situation where you've got to go back and forth. You have to experience both characters to get the true storyline that they're going with. Guys, also, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Guys, we're so close to 11,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. Like, from last week to this week, almost 200 new subscribers. We're almost at 11,000. I'm like, literally, I think I'm like 12 away. So if you're listening to the show, please hit the like button and please do hit the subscribe button. Keep in mind that I did tell you guys a few weeks back that I'm going to be changing the format of CrossFire. A lot of you guys, and this might even get, I'm trying to dangle the carrot to get crap back even sooner than he thinks. But, we had such a good time on the channel for the Xbox Bethesda Showcase. We're going to be doing some weeks with on-camera with guests and, again, having a cam box here as well. So that way you'll still have some footage or news that's on there for the week. But we're going to be switching CrossFire up. So if you like what you're seeing, it's just going to get better. Shout out to TrueWiddy, a member for 25 months. TrueWiddy actually lives in the house. True, I think we're short on cereal. He says, let's be honest, the word say woke has changed. It has changed, TrueWiddy. I think that is true. I think that word has definitely changed over the years. And I think it's something that has become a lot more comfortable with a lot of people, especially in the gaming industry. You're seeing that happen even more and more. So I hope I'm interpreting that the right way, TrueWiddy. Just so you guys know as well, Slow-Mo Backslap and BitCloud Gaming are supposed to be joining us at some point tonight as well. They both told me that they would be late. So until I get more information, I'm not sure. The great SirXMan is having a phone conversation on the side. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. It makes no difference to me.
I apologize.
He does that on next podcast.
I've known SirXMan so long.
No, I don't do that on any show, dude.
He does it on GRG too.
Shades of Next Gen 720. I remember him going off having these conversations in the middle of the podcast.
Well, I'm playing on my Steam Deck. I'm watching Twitter and putting up memes all at the same time. So I mean,
we know you're multi-talented.
So I wanted to throw it out.
I'm multitasking like a motherfucker over here.
You never got my opinion on the Grand Theft Auto thing.
But that's the thing. Like I see people saying, it's woke culture, but I don't really think it's that anymore. I think it's more people just wanting to be included into these games. You got to remember, there's not just white people in the world. There's not just there's not just one.
It's not just white men
in the world,
and that's coming from a white dude.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
There's just not that in the world. There's so many different cultures and so many different people in the world.
Look, since we're getting to this point, can we agree on one other thing?
Sure.
Real quick, can we all realize? Okay, this is going way off topic, which I'm known for. Can we agree that Jesus was not a white hippie dude coming from the Middle East?
Absolutely. Absolutely can
Okay,
agree
there
with
were
that.
no white blonde-haired hippies in the Middle East.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That wasn't.
I feel better now.
You should absolutely will be.
Is that Wilmy I hear speaking?
The great BitCloud Gaming is here, by the
Oh,
way.
fuck. Fake Cloud's here? Man,
Yes.
I gotta go.
Oh, fuck it, I'm out.
I just want to answer that question
Who
about
the hell that
female protagonist thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If Rockstar wants to impress me, make the next Red Dead Redemption a female cowboy.
Well, that's already been rumored. That was going around. It was going to be Sadie Adler, if I remember correctly.
That's what we
From
were just
Red Dead
saying.
Yeah. That was going around. And so I think there might be truth to those. A lot of these rumors end up being true. So there might
But
be
there's
truth to that.
there's been female bad guys in games since the original Tomb Raider, Miss Dadler.
It's not really the issue. That's not. I don't think the issue with Red Dead, or I'm sorry, with GTA being the issue is not with her being a female. It's just the issue of the culture possibly changing for the overall game, the DNA, because the overall studio is changing its beliefs, and they're saying they want to get away from certain themes and not want to be a part of certain groups or conversations. So that's basically what they're talking about, like possibly toning it down because they don't want to offend anybody, even though that's basically what
GTA does.
has always been
Offend
about.
people.
Yeah. But you know how it is, X-Men? Like, you know how this world is not the same? Like, everybody is easily offended, pretty much. So, like, the thing I don't want to see in this shit, X-Men, is like, for example, you know, like the new trigger word that goes around is like, hey, if you come near me, I'm gonna make sure you get canceled, right? I don't want to hear shit like that. Like, I don't want to hear stupid shit like that. I don't want to hear, or I don't want to play as a character, in this case, the female, and her going around saying, hi, my name is so-and-so. What are your pronouns?
Right.
How about we not do that? Let's just keep this way.
Yeah, we don't need that kind of stuff.
We don't need that shit in this game.
I think including a female character is a good thing or whatever, but including all that, trying not to get canceled type of people it's unnecessary. We don't need it.
The reason why
it's a video game. It's entertainment.
People have that fear as well. I don't know if y'all remember, but I think it's in the PS5 version. Don't quote me. It might be in the PS4 version, but I think it's the PS5 version that got re-released. But they removed the transphobic jokes, so that's why a lot of people are really, really worried. Because also Dan Houser is not with the team anymore, neither.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah,
man.
it's a lot of stuff that raises eyebrows on what.
Okay. I forgot all about that. Crap was just bringing that up too. The culture, we were saying the culture, and also the employees have changed over there. So we may see, but like you said before, with the pronouns and other things, it's like, for me personally, you don't even run into an issue. Just keep it gaming. Keep it gaming. Like, do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, you do your show, right? Which, by the way, BitCloud just had a great show before CrossFire was on. And, you do your show your way. And people love what you're doing. So if you keep to what your roots are and what you do, I think that's really, really what the customer's looking for here. I think if you really, really kind of rock, they say rock the boat, that's when people kind of get stirred up. I think having, like, I was just saying this before you got on the show, instead of having Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, to be able to have this Bonnie and Clyde thing they're doing right now with a male and female protagonist, I kind of dig it. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
I kind of dig it.
I do too, but this is where again, because the reason why I said I'm having this mindset, it's not that I'm against women or anything. It's just like the way shit's been going with this industry and the way people have been acting towards women. It would not surprise me if they toned down some shit with her. Like, I don't know if y'all read the report. In the report, they're talking about how, like, yeah, they don't see women as sexual objects or nothing like that. Like, they're leaving the frat boy like mentality. So it would not surprise me if they toned down like the way women look in terms of provocative dressing and shit like that. It would not surprise me with her.
The
like
hard
less
part about
hooker
that,
scenarios.
The hard part about that bit, and I know me and you've talked about this before. There are a lot of women that don't like to be seen as objects. They don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But then you have OnlyFans. You have Twitch.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what they're selling because sadly, sex sells.
Yeah, and
it always has.
What now? Okay, so Wilmy, I'm pretty sure you played GTA 4, right? You played GTA 4, Nico Belt. So I was going around with this. I forgot to say this on my show, but I would not be surprised. Y'all remember the internet cafe? That was a big thing with GTA 4 at the date and get shit. I would not be surprised they brought that back and they like parried that. They parry OnlyFans, and that's like your way of getting to explicit like content in that game. I would not be surprised because I seriously would not, because they already mimicked the stock market, right? They already took that shit in there. They already taken out. They're already like adjusting the game based on shit you're seeing in the real world. For example, Black Lives Matter, which was the big thing that was going on, right? They were supposed to have a mission / DLC type of drop that was supposed to happen. It was called Cops and Crooks. I don't know if y'all remember that. They canceled that in the midst of that. Yeah, they were supposed to have that. They're not doing that. So I mean, again, there's a lot of stuff that they're just low key.
It's always cops and crooks. I mean, it's just the what? What's that other game? Saints Row. It's always been like that. That's the game style.
Well, you know what,
SirXMan.
But SirXMan, you bring a good point up. Let me ask Bit that, because Bit, you came in really. That's great opinions on this. Bit, they're saying Saints Row is going to be kind of more bland than it's ever been with this new one that's releasing. I mean, is that a product of what we're kind of walking into?
I mean, again, if you're trying to walk that line when you don't want to offend people, the possibility, I mean, you could throw pretty much anything on the table at that point. You know what I mean? It's possible because everybody's easily offended by something. Let's face it, it don't matter. You can have the most fucking open game known to man. You can make a game that sounds fair, that has perfect writing and whatnot. Someone on this godforsaken planet will find something to bitch about. They will zoom in. Dudes will fucking zoom in on a fucking piece of gum on somebody's heel and say, see, she has gum on her heel. And it's like, and bitch about it for 13 hours and then look stupid. You know, it's bad enough dudes making videos on fucking Twitter talking about, hey, Halo Infinite's multiplayer, it's not free because I have to spend $10. How about you shut the fuck up? Nobody gives a shit.
That is why I love you, dude.
Yeah, like just shut the fuck up and go play it or like move on.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't know what's going on, but I love this. This Bit Cloud is on fire right now. Bit, you must have been really
hanging out with Blaze 4K too much. That's what.
No. We were having fun. No, I'm good.
And see, another thing with gaming too. I think it was Crap talked about it a minute ago. With this whole crunch thing.
Yes.
Because you've got Jason Schreier outside your window. I would love for that motherfucker to stand outside my window because I shake my dick at him.
You know what?
Dude, honestly, why is gaming? Why is gaming the only thing that you're not allowed to work more than 40 hours a week?
It's not even that though. It's not even that, woman. It's like, why is gaming the only thing you can't be fucking excited about?
Oh, my job has crunch.
Right.
That pisses me the fuck off.
That's the biggest thing right now is
that you
can't be excited for
keep you for 2 hours.
Like, again, I get it. Like, Xbox ain't that shit. I'm not going to even sit here and attempt to say this was a great year for Xbox because it wasn't in terms of AAA releases, right? But if somebody's saying they're having fun, okay, cool, let them have fun. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to interrogate the fucking guy because he said he fucking liked this year of Xbox. I don't give a shit.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but you know what? When there was crunch, we didn't have as many game delays.
That is facts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's something to that.
You can still have crunch, but limited.
Well, you know what? And let me tell you something, SirXMan. That's a great segue.
My
Because we had
does that.
Well, listen, we had the great Slow-Mo Backslap that just joined us in Slow-Mo. The last time Slow-Mo, I want to say it was the last time Slow-Mo was on the show. If it wasn't, it was the time before. We got into and it was a great heated discussion about crunch. But Slow-Mo,
Wait, did he change his avatar? If he didn't change his avatar, kick him because he's supposed to have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle getting slapped.
No, it's supposed to be Sonic. It's supposed to be Sonic.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sonic. Yeah, Sonic. My bad.
I haven't got
Hey,
that
you
commission
watch
yet.
that Sonic slander, Slow-Mo.
Hey, look, Sonic need to stop slandering himself. They need to stop slandering the IP with these trash games they keep coming out with. It's self-slander.
I agree. I agree with that.
Slow-Mo, Slow-Mo, let
Big
me ask
bitter
you.
games, I won't say nothing. That's all I got to say.
All right, I'll give it to you, my friend.
Slow-Mo, you walked in at the great time. We're still, believe it or not, we had a great heartfelt beginning to the show, but now we're on our first topic still, believe it or not.
It was so fucking sappy, man.
It was so
not even
great.
funny.
Don't go by Dark Optimus. He just
Shut your ass up.
wants
Shut
evil.
up. Just
Dark
shut up.
Optimus just wants evil and death. Listen. So anyway,
so snappy.
He's a big softy at heart.
he really is Slow-Mo. I
He
know
was
that.
he was blowing his nose with a pancake. He was like,
Of course.
Twin brother.
What
Oh,
the
that's a good one.
Then he said, I got my syrup on my pancakes. I'm good.
Man, Slow-Mo. Let me ask
That's a
the
waste
great.
of pancakes.
Let me ask a waste of pancake. Shout out to Slow-Mo. Let me ask you a question real quick, I will get to the super chats, guys, all pertaining to GTA 6. But Slow-Mo, where are you on the whole thing going on with what you've seen and what you're reading? And of course, I believe the Bloomberg article dove into it head first. I mean, where are you with all this? Is any of it? I know you well enough, so I'm kind of asking you this question, knowing the answer already. But where are you on all this? Has any of this bothered you as far as GTA 6 and what Rockstar's got coming out?
Not really, not at all. I mean, the thing is that like whenever we get into this discussion about crunch, it's like it seems like we have to once again define what is crunch and what is extreme crunch, because it's like, and maybe when it is talked about in like a Jason Schreier article or whenever developers on Twitter complain about it, that like they discuss specifically what they're talking about, because a lot of people try to liken it to, oh man, I worked overtime this week. I worked 15 extra hours this week. What's the big deal? And it's like, yeah, you did that this week. These people are working like double the, like they're working 80, 90 hours for like 2 years, a week for 2 years or more. And it's just like their work-life balance isn't there. And that's not necessarily crunch. That's extreme crunch. It's a big difference. And what people are trying to, at least what I think the majority of the people, I don't know if Jason Schreier is one of those who is actually really fighting for that specifically, or unless he's just really, I think he's kind of just really just fighting for a specific cause that
He's trying to sell another shitty book, Slow-Mo. Just admit
exactly.
No.
He's got, I think he's got an agenda in the work that he does, but like outside of that, like the actual developers that are being affected by this stuff, I think that when I read the article, I think it sounds pretty cool what they're doing. I did see that some parts where there's some devs that feel like the development is taking too long. As far as GTA 6 goes, but I look at certain things like they implement this thing called flexi time. So like if you work a certain amount of hours overtime, at some point in time you can like you could be docking those hours that you were working, and then use those for like say time off,
annual leave or something. Yes.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's what we all get. Like I mean, like honestly, just think about it. Like I work in IT. And I get, with my company, I'm almost 10 years in with my company, so I get nearly a month in PTO off. I work long hours, but like when I'm off, I'm off. Nobody, don't call me. Don't say nothing to me.
Don't call me. I'm not here.
If the system is down, if the network's down, I don't want to know.
Nice.
I don't care. Like so, like I mean, when you work for a certain company that makes a certain amount of money, and then you see your higher ups are riding around in yachts, and they got, I'm going to go to my boat this weekend, and I'm gonna be like I'm gonna fish for no reason. I don't even want to fish. I'm just gonna grab them, just gonna get them, I'm gonna throw them back in there because I don't give a damn. Meanwhile the rest of us working like, man, no, bump that. I want some time off too. But I mean, outside of that, with the female protagonist thing, I think that's kind of like, I actually thought that was pretty hilarious to see people complaining about that. Like, oh my God, they're being woke. I'm like, I wish I would stop saying woke because nobody says woke. But anyway, like, I think when I was listening a little bit, before I was trying to finish your work, and I think it was Wilmy that said it. Like we played with Lara Croft like decades ago.
Right.
Like, what is the big deal?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and honestly, in this game being a third person perspective, and you stand and your camera situated right behind the person, I'm starting to get a little wonder about, you know, some of these guys here. You know, it's always supposed to be like these manly men that be like, I don't want to play as a woman.
What the hell you mean? I don't play no
I want to
woman,
stare
man.
at some man cheeks for 30, 40 hours of a campaign. I want to stare at some man cheeks instead of some woman cheeks. Like, what?
I do feel like that's just going to be toned down, bro. I think they're going to tone down. I don't think
you know what we call them? We call them simps.
Oh,
okay,
there it is, SirXMan. Well, you know what, though, Slow-Mo, Bit makes it, you want to repeat what you just said? I think that may be the topic at hand more than the female protagonist.
No. It's not the female. It's not the whole, like, you playing against a female. No. That's the problem for the community.
No, you were saying it may be toned down a bit.
Yeah, it might be toned down based on the company's direction.
If she out here scissoring, you know, like prostitutes, I got no problem with that. If they in there and there's one leg up, the legs are crossing in the car and it's moving all around,
that might not even
problem with it.
That might not even be in the game though. That's
what I'm saying.
All that shit out.
That's very true. That's
the thing though. They're talking about taking that type of shit out because they don't see women as sexual objects. This is why, again, I'm saying, like, bro, I don't think.
I mean, but is this what the community is saying, or is this what Rockstar?
No, what Rockstar is saying. They're moving away from that frat boy mindset where they see women as sexual objects.
Rockstar is going to ruin what they're supposed to be all about.
Yeah, pretty much. They're trying to not offend people. So less provocative dress women.
They're going to take the gay guys out of the game and everything.
Yeah, all the transphobic jokes that was in GTA 5, they removed in the re-release.
All of this stuff ends up working itself out. People speak with their wallets. You know, I've seen it with recent movies. People are like, "Why did that Buzz Lightyear movie fail?" Well, there's many reasons why it failed, but
this is Buzz Lightyear and Tim Allen. Tim Allen's not part of it, but also let's keep it a buck though. This is Rockstar and this is GTA. When people see the bridge and it says title card GTA, they're buying that regardless. It's all this.
That's you know what? In crap, I normally 1,000 out of 1,000 times generally what crap says. I'm like, yep, that money will dictate, the market will dictate whether or not people are happy or satisfied. But Bit makes a point here. This game just prints money. This game's going to sell. I think if somebody even hates the game, they're going to buy it.
And here's the wild part. Here's the scary part. Because you already know where all the main content's going to be. It's not just in the single player, it's in the multiplayer. So everybody's going to be on this for multiplayer.
Go ahead, sir.
Everybody calls the game GTA. GTA means Grand Theft fucking Auto. You really think there's going to be some good, clean shit in there? It's Grand Theft Auto.
That's a good point, sir.
Yeah, they're not stealing from the Amish, SirXMan.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that, like, before you rip someone out of their car and steal it, that you're gonna be like asking permission. Like, excuse me.
Pardon me, sir. Do you have any great coupons?
No, but here's the wild part.
And they beat them up and steal their wallet.
Here's the wild part though. So you pull them out the car and they be like, okay, let me get my cell phone. You're canceled, buddy. Let me get my cell phone. Let me take a snap. You're canceled. Or better yet, Slow-Mo. Like, let you play as the female. She goes, "Hi, my name is so and so. My pronouns are."
You didn't say that, dude. You beat me to it.
Is that your character or like
going to be Karen?
The character you play it. The character you play.
Okay.
Like
my character you play. How are you? My pronouns are Karen.
How many times have you walked by a prostitute in GTA and she always says, "Is there anything I can do for you? Do you need anything?" Come on.
The
this
question
is GTA.
The question is, SirXMan, will they continue that? Now, I got a couple super chats here that are pertaining to this topic. The great SirXMan, thank you very much. He says, enjoy the show, everybody. So thank you, SirXMan. Damion, who's a Mooch Maniac family member. By the way, shout out also to Gaming with Persona. I saw a couple guys jumping in and out. Tactical Gamer, a couple other great Mooch Maniac family members are here, guys. I appreciate you all being here. Damion says, it's almost 300 in here. Hit that like button. For God's sakes, Damien's right. Shout out to TrueWiddy. He says, does a female protagonist bother anyone truly? I think you've basically heard this. No. The answer is no. Or at least on this panel, and I hate that. I'm
actually hyped to play as her. I'm curious how they're going to do it, especially the Bonnie and Clyde Banks.
That's what I said. The Bonnie and Clyde thing, Bit, that's got
that's
me.
pretty cool.
I'm down for that. Shout out to Jimmy, the great Jimmy Harrison. He said, "Let's go, loving the show, brothers." Jimmy, thank you so much. Kim, he says, "I think also what some gamers call in air quotes woke is also these companies trying to sell to a larger demographic." And dude, gamers are still going to buy GTA 6. And Kim, I'm with you. I said this. I think even if somebody says, I don't like what they're doing, they're still going to buy the game. This game is sold so many copies. 5 has sold so many. It's got to be record-breaking, right, Bit? I'm pretty sure by this point.
I think it's the second most sold game in history, I think.
What was the first, Leisure Suit Larry?
Minecraft.
Part 2.
It should be Minecraft. I think it's Minecraft.
This shit's gonna like be the plague. You ain't gonna be able to escape GTA anywhere.
No, you're really not. TrueWiddy says, will there be a strip club in GTA 6? I would say yes.
Probably.
It'd be in there, but what I think
it's supposed to take place in a fictional Miami. You're gonna get strip clubs. I mean,
you're gonna get
that's part of the strip club.
You're gonna see women
come up to you. Just like my name's Destiny. My pronouns are love you long time. Or deep throat.
I'm telling you, I'm paying attention to that dialogue. If that dialogue sounds sus, you already know. I'm
Bit will have a video on it. I know that's.
I ain't gonna do a video. I ain't gonna do a video. I'm just gonna be like, I said it. I called it. Like, hey, my pronouns are this.
I love it when
Hey,
Bit. Go ahead, Slomo. Yes.
I'm looking at this gameplay. This game is out already?
No, buddy. This is literally off the PlayStation. I went and grabbed it because I'm very excited about it, and it's been all over the Twitters.
Dope,
So I said, you know what? I got to grab footage of this, and I want to talk about it, especially with the great Slomo backslap. I know that Slomo, this has got to be on your radar.
Yeah, I love indie games, and this one, when I saw this one at the last PlayStation, that was like one of the state of plays they showed it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that's their Radio Future with guns.
Yes,
Fire.
and it also reminds me of Super Hot with some of the slowdown, with the bullet time. Like, I'm all in on this game. That's why I was just like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something with it? Did it come out and I just missed it?
No. And it's coming out in a few weeks, I believe. Is it August 16th or 19th? Something like that. Bit might know.
I thought Mooch had like an exclusive to this or something. I was like,
no, dude,
I wouldn't surprise me.
Where you get these exclusives from, Mooch?
I don't know what it is. The dev
I'm saying Mooch about to disappear.
Mooch about to disappear.
Mooch ain't need you. Living ain't need you neither. You dumb boy. I'm gonna get those connects.
What is it?
It's Rollerdrome. Which is it's I'm telling you, I've seen people nonstop talking about it on Twitter. And
dude, it's dope.
This was shown. It was shown at the last. Was it the PlayStation State of Play? Slomo was just saying, or was it?
Yes, it was one of the State of Plays. I think it was probably the last one.
Yes,
maybe the last one we saw like a deep dive. Well, not deep dive, but we saw like even more gameplay of it, and they were showing more content.
It looks good.
And you're excited for this?
You know, believe it or not, I like the gunplay and the fast movement. I really, really do. I'm one of the only. Shout out to Talus Gaming who's in the chat. Me and Talus have put in probably about 20, 30 hours. Wilmy, you as well. Remember, people didn't like Blood Hunt. I still love it. I really do.
I just haven't had a chance to jump back on there with you.
But
I'm going to play it again.
And this game is not like Blood Hunt by no means, but what this game has, it's got that gunplay and it's got that fast speed, that fast movement. I like that. So I'm intrigued by it. Is it going to be my game of the year? Probably not. But I mean, it's definitely something.
I would hope not.
No,
because we would talk, sir.
Yes, I'm sure I would be reprimanded at once. Shout out to the great TrueWiddy comes back again. We were talking about this as well, TrueWiddy. He says, does anybody care about, and I'm not sure what the word he meant there. He put bent. I mean, maybe he meant being protagonist in Saints Row. In Saints Row, they've also kind of skewed your ability to choose who you are and what you can be, where the past... They did not? In the new one?
You can create your own character in that one.
Oh, you still can? Okay.
They just showed trailers with a female protagonist. That's
so. What did they remove, if anything?
I think they just removed some of the craziness from Saints Row 4, and because in Saints Row 4 you didn't need to drive around. Once you got to a certain
that they removed some of the like embellished body parts you used to be able to put on your character.
Yeah, they removed a lot of that stuff. They removed a lot of
This makes me scared though, guys. Everybody gets easily offended.
Well, I mean, do you really need to run around with a 4-foot penis?
I'm telling you.
Well, it's Saints Row you do.
You're talking about a game that used to let you go around with a dildo gun.
That's right.
Slap people with giant dildos.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't walk around with some double Fs,
do it.
or like come on.
Crap.
That's very true.
They're like, oh no, that's too much now.
Shout out to Rodolfo Medrano. I really appreciate the super chat, guys. Thank you. He says, great show, guys. Rodolfo, thanks for being here, buddy. It really means a lot. Let me go to the great Bit Cloud. It's so great to have you on the show. I want to have you on more often, but from somebody like myself, we were talking about this early on, doing podcasting for so long, to ask somebody to go from one show right to another, it's taxing. So I appreciate you being here. But you've done a video on this. I want to talk about this. The new PS5 beta update that's out. It's a lot of the things people were asking for. It's that 1440p support, game lists, aka folders, and more. Bit, can you talk a little bit about it? You did do a great video on it, and you've had your finger on the pulse for a while on this one.
Oh yeah, the updates in beta form right now. If you guys are in the beta program, you guys can take advantage of it. 1440p support. Shout out to Blaze. He tried it out on his new ultra wide 1440p monitor. It looks good. So it does work. You get all the, especially if you have all the bells and whistles like VR. So it does work. So that's good. I'm glad they finally did that. I know a lot of people might be going, people question why they do it now. Well, the reason why you now have 1440p as an option on the PS5 is because Sony's now in the market with their now
their monitors.
Monitor division. So they're now doing that to push PC gaming. So now they're doing that, which is cool. I'm happy that it's finally here. They finally have the ability for you to send messages like via voice messages on PlayStation. So you can now do that with the new update. So no longer you don't have to worry about text or voice texting when you talk and then like text it out and then you send it. No, you don't have to do that no more. You can actually send an actual voice message to them. You can join somebody's game if you're in the chat with them. It'll recommend the game that they're playing and then it'll ask if you want to join their party. If you have it, you can do that now. They changed the quick access menu a little bit now, so it's kind of like what you got on the PS4 a little bit, but it only shows like the game and the progress. So it's like for the progress section. So it doesn't show like the little quick thing where you can like turn the system off and like that. None that's been added yet. But what I'm happy that they've done on this because this kind of makes me think themes are closer than we think because all this stuff was complained about for the longest at the start. So I do think custom themes are indeed happening in some capacity very, very soon.
I really appreciate you giving that in-depth detail there, Bit. By the way, shout out to Saltiest Game. Appreciate Salt being here tonight too, guys. I got to tell you, I like what they're doing. The themes for me, I hate. Listen, this sounds like a big crybaby thing to say. I miss it. Yeah. I really want that. I don't mind. The one thing that they did do that I kind of like, but it's not supported on all games. Third parties are doing it. All first party are doing it. When you hover over the game that you're about to play, whether it's the disc version or the digital one.
Custom,
right. So it comes up with a custom background music. Yeah. I like that. But let's be honest. I had so many of the themes on the PS4, and I would switch them regularly. Just mood, game I was playing. It was awesome.
To match the hype of the week, nice, you know what I mean? Like when it was Ghost of Tsushima, you changed your theme to Ghost of Tsushima.
And sometimes it was special incentive when you bought the game that you
it still is. Right. You get one for DadOfWar Ragnarok for PS4.
Yeah, if you have the PS4, yeah.
Now they are bringing it back. I would like them to do how they do it on Steam. Obviously, Slomo knows it too. But like on Steam where you get like the custom avatars that move.
Yes,
I would love that to be an option where you can have that, or that could be something that you can get from their new rewards program that they're trying to do, similar to Xbox points, whatever. That would be cool. Like there's a lot of things they can do to change and make that online even more.
The avatar thing would definitely be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to see that plus the Discord integration because at this point we're almost there. Xbox is adding it, and that's inside this program. Once PlayStation gets it, then I can finally not have to feel bad for my console piece when we're playing games that have crossplay, and then it's they're got one headset cup on for the game audio and sounds and stuff, and then their other ear is on a an earbud off their phone for Discord so they can communicate with everybody. It would be to be able to do all that through your console would be perfect.
So let me ask you guys though, I got to throw a wrench in the moving gear here. Is this, in order for themes to occur, what else needs to change? And I'm throwing this out to the panel. What else needs to change on the current UI to make that exist, right? I mean, things would have to, do you think no, Mooch, no, we don't have to do anything. Just run the screen behind it differently. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just have to add the option to change it.
You don't think they need to move the tiles? Don't need to move all the advertising? Nothing needs to move?
The tiles and stuff didn't move on the PS4. Remember, it was just it was like overlay. So technically, it would just be the same version.
Well, the tiles
it goes in the background.
Yeah, just an outlook.
But the tile, and guys, remind me. My God, it's only been a couple of years. Here I am acting like I don't remember. But like on the PS4, from what I remember, all the tiles of like getting to your profile and your friends, and you used to have to.
Oh, you talking about the icons? Yeah, the icons changed.
Right, so you used to have to press up. Yeah. The icons would change, things would change. So you'd have a theme for the upper tier, the main for the main play stage, and then lower. So my point being here is that would anything need to change the way they currently have the setup right now, or would it look status quo the way it is now? Just the themes would change in the background.
I have a question on that.
I think the themes would
take a screenshot like you can on Xbox, and they put it on your back screen, and it'll always stay there.
Can you do
on
that?
The PS. You can do that on Xbox. You could have been done that.
I believe you can do that on PlayStation too.
Yeah, you can set a screenshot from your PS5 to your
profile. And it'll always stay there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah. But what are you thinking? You're thinking it'll stay the same, or you think there needs to be some sort of mobility on the tiles?
The only thing I can see them changing, if they are going to do it, for example, the artwork of the tiles will change, like to match the game, like they did for Uncharted. Like they matched the aesthetic of the game.
Yeah,
they just like that.
360 Xbox does that. Xbox does that. If
so
you
I
don't
can see
set
that
a permanent tile.
The reason I asked the question, though, the reason I posed the question is his bit makes a point. He kind of gets everybody excited, me included, saying this may be coming down the pipe soon. If in fact the UI needs to change at all, we may be a little further away from themes than we think. And that's the only thing. If it's just a quick thing that they can add in the background, I would have thought they would have done it already. But I don't know. I mean, why is it you guys think, why do you guys think that the PlayStation's kind of dragging their feet on some of these features? Like, I don't think having, like, why not have folders there day one? That's not something they couldn't handle. They had it in the PS4. Themes they've had. Why do they always do this? They kind of piecemeal it in years later.
I think it probably has something to do with the fact that, like, it seems simple on the front end from what we see, but on the back end, when you're writing the code and how everything is designed, with the UI, I think that they probably changed how, even though it looks very similar to the PS4 in a lot of ways, but like code wise, like actual, like the design of it probably is very different, and they probably made it different so that like it'll be more scalable in the future, and it wouldn't be so difficult to get things in. But then in doing so, they had to redo things completely, and some of the stuff that we had with the PS4 is no longer available, which really sucked. A lot of people was upset about it, but myself included, especially the folders thing, because I always had my games in folders by genre. And
I just felt like they were pushing the release, like they were just trying to get as many units out as possible, and it was like an afterthought afterwards.
I mean, I don't think it was necessarily an afterthought, just that like they weren't going to delay the release of a console for something that's pretty minor. We're still working on it, but it's not like, because we don't have folders and themes and XYZ that we're going to delay the release of the entire system. Like that we're going to do that. So
otherwise,
I just
Switch still wouldn't have released. That thing's bare bones as can be.
Oh my god!
Exactly. Like Switch got Bluetooth like 4 years later. So they're not going to delay the release over a feature or
Listen,
that not everybody enjoys.
And so I gotta give a shout out where shout outs due. Shout out to Broken Games, BG. I'm definitely in his camp, man. I look at people I know who have iPhones, and I use iPhone as the example. I know that you Android guys have the same thing, but there's folders on phones now, and has been for years and years. But my point is, I've seen some of my friends, and the phone folders, right? They're an inch by an inch square, and then you've got little dots inside them, and they've got 100 of those things. They're like, I find this to be a lot easier. I'm like, how the hell can you even see what you're doing? So when it comes to games, you know what I like? I like the old-fashioned alphabetical order. I just go into my games that I have, and I generally only have the ones that I'm playing the first. Shout out to Crusader. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat. He's like, Mooch, thank God. Thank the Lord they finally got folders. I'm like, how many games are you playing at once? It has 11 tiles up on the main stage, right on the front page. I'm playing 3-4 games. They're there. Where am I searching in a folder? I just love to have my folders. Listen, I understand. And there's different types of
Hoarders.
gamers out there, right?
You don't need a folder
They're
anymore.
hoarders. They're hoarders.
You have
Did you say
have
hoarders?
Now
Yeah.
Mooch is going to tell everybody to get off his lawn.
The easier to do
Yeah,
is
right?
to spend
You-
$5,000 on a damn
you don't need a folder, guy.
Well,
You
man,
have CryptoZone now. You good.
Wilmy, I went from 21 to a senior citizen overnight. I got news for you. That's just me. I don't know. I don't understand all this stuff, but I'm glad it's there. Listen, it's the crap. We used to say this all the time. We live in the generation of options. Anybody's been listening to me for years, been saying this for a long time. This is the only generation. When I was a kid, when we had the air conditioning on the car, the windows had to be up. Now you have the air conditioning on, the windows down, and somebody's having an ice cream. What's going on? And they're like, Mooch, I just like the breeze in my hair while I'm getting hit with the freaking AC. I don't get it. But nonetheless, it's all here now, right? It's all here.
That's like my Jeep. I can take the top and the doors off and run the AC wide open. It doesn't really do anything, but it feels good.
That's what I'm saying. But Wilmy, you know sure as shit if you were a kid, your dad had the AC on the car. He probably didn't even have AC in the car, right? All of a sudden you put the window down. Watch out. I wouldn't want to be you. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's the way it was. But now we live in the generation of options, so we
were
have to
told
have them.
we were told that running the AC would waste more gas.
Yes,
That was
yes.
I remember
the
that
thing,
one.
man.
And also because it sucks in like moisture, right? It would be damaging to the AC unit because you got all that muggy air. All that muggy air is going to ruin the condenser. All right, whatever. Nonetheless, all you guys right now are.
Hey, we couldn't play video games on the living room TV either because it would burn in.
It burn in, crap.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it'd burn in.
We also
we're
had
doing the picture.
the nut cooler.
What the hell
The
was
little
that?
the little vent that is underneath your steering wheel.
That's right. They don't put those. Are those even a thing anymore?
They're not a thing anymore, trust me.
Oh God.
You guys forgot about that shit, didn't you?
I did, but now that you mention it, it is a flashback coming back to me. That's really funny. All right, listen, I gotta
like gaming used to cost a nickel. Now look at it. $70.
$70, right? Exactly, Bit. Shout out to the great
Oh.
fake man, Bear Pig. He says, Mooch, who the hell's yelling? I know, get him off the show. Listen, Bit, I'm gonna go, actually, I'm gonna start with Crap, then I'm gonna go to Bit on this one. Crap, we were talking about this. We watched the show together last year. We watched the PlayStation show. Everybody was very excited about the Kotor remake. You played a lot of Kotor back in the day. What's your take now? You're hearing it's delayed indefinitely. It looks like they're gonna either I'm saying it wrong too. Is it Aspyr Media?
Aspyr Media.
So they're either gonna be out or you're gonna see them they're replacing at least a director or two, and it's gonna be bumped out a year or two. So what's your take on Kotor as far as we're standing today?
Well, Kotor. I'm familiar with that.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Not sure what Kotor is, but
listen,
Kotor.
Kotor is what I played. Yes.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, like I remember. I remember when they announced this game, I was excited, but Aspyr Media put a little trepidation in me because they've only done remasters of some older Star Wars games, and didn't include redoing assets or anything. And since they said they were building in this game from the ground up, obviously I was a little bit worried about that.
Right.
So the fact of the matter is, this game probably isn't going to come out till 2025 or so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So supposedly, because I read the thing, maybe Saber Interactive is going to take over the whole thing, which, I mean, they did help a lot on like the Halo 2 remake or whatever, or Halo 1 remake. So,
Yes.
I mean, they have some experience in it, but from building something from the ground up, because they're doing completely different combat, which the original had, didn't have real-time combat. So supposedly they're trying to change it all. That's a big change, and redoing the voiceover work and stuff like that. So, we could be years and years out. Supposedly that game was supposed to release this year, like holiday.
Yeah.
And then I guess it was so bad that, they fired 2 people off of it and, put it on hold indefinitely. That's never a good sign. So, I mean, it's disappointing. You know what I mean? Because I've been waiting a long time for that game to be, at this point, man, just slap it back together, put it in HD and let put some achievements on it. Damn, man, wait 3-4 more years for this thing to come out, man. It's like, that's disappointing.
Someone like me that didn't play, I get your enthusiasm and I also get your frustration, Crap. I myself personally, I didn't really play it back in the day. So for me, I would say the opposite. We're reversing roles here. I would say take your time, get the right director in place. I know I see some of the Sony guys saying Sony probably got to look at this and said, the hell no, I'm not backing this. This is not the quality we put out on our machine.
Sony and Disney
And
both.
Disney,
We're
correct.
we're showing a demo,
Correct.
and we're like, this isn't good.
Right.
So yeah, like I think that kind of says it all. And now we're in a longer kind of wait and see type of period. I mean, it could get scrapped altogether for all we know. You know,
I think that's actually what I kind of feel like it probably will be. Is it'll eventually get because like they paused development.
Yeah.
Like they're like as of right now, like no one is working on the game at this moment.
There ain't none of them doing crunch.
Yeah.
No crunch.
Yeah, nobody's touching
So
it.
Jason Schreier is pleased.
Yeah. So and also it's like if you do, like people are like, well, maybe Sony will put a first party on it. Like, I mean, if they did that, they would have to start all over. They're not going to take what somebody else has done.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And just and do anything. So, it's probably something that'll just disappear. Like, there's a lot of people still waiting on Phantom Dust on Xbox. Like Phil said, it wasn't canceled years ago, and here we are 8 years later.
What's like that?
Yeah. No, I mean, you can never find anything about official cancellation. The last question anybody asked Phil about Phantom Dust remake is that it's still in works.
Yeah, but think about it,
So,
crap.
but I
Is,
mean-
is there a more like jinxed game in the world than Star Wars games? Like they're all like right. The 1313 didn't come out, and then there was. I mean, there's
I
the.
wouldn't say it.
What do you think though, Bit? I mean, I know there's Fallen Order came out recently, so tip your
Well,
cap to
you got
Respawn.
you got Fallen Order, but you also got Jedi Survivor next year. So you
That's
still
next
got
year, but
Star-
but that's the same team, same group, right? I'm saying outside of that one game, we haven't seen the second one yet. I mean, it seems like all these Star Wars games they never come out.
Yeah, true. I mean, the last time we heard anything Star Wars related before, we got all the good news, like for example, Quantic Dreams, obviously Jedi Survivor. But you guys remember Amy Hennig?
Yeah, Amy Hennig, yes.
Yeah.
She was making a Star Wars game, and then that like reportedly got canned. So
Ragtag.
they killed her vision. So
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, it's tough. I think
mean-
it's probably Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm's probably just not pleased.
The
with
thing
what
was,
they
man, that was before Jedi came out, and
Yeah.
EA was like, "Well, how can we have this game with no loot boxes and no way to monetize it? Nobody's gonna buy that."
Yeah,
And
they were
then,
trying to do the Battlefront formula. 'cause
Yeah,
that was like throwing away.
yeah.
But I mean, that's why they canceled. So like BioWare some years back also tried to remake the game. They actually had a vertical slice to show EA to try to get further of approval to go forward and actually do a remake for Knights of the Old Republic, and they told them no. So like I think that probably was back then when EA had a mandate for microtransactions and multiplayer and all this other stuff, like all the crap they kept forcing BioWare to put into all their games anyway. Like they probably were just looking at it like, so where's the multiplayer at? There's no multiplayer. Okay, all right, no. So it's unfortunate. It keeps happening with this game because like I love that game when it first came. It's like one of my favorite RPGs ever. And that one and the sequel that Obsidian did were both excellent, but it just seems like there's always something with this game that keeps holding things up. And frankly, if it was looking like as bad as it appears it looked, that they had to fire the art director and design director a week later, then you know what? Good.
That's what I said, Slow-Mo.
This game was.
That's what I said.
I don't want one of my favorite games of all time to get a remake that's absolute garbage. Like I just don't want that. I don't want.
And it was already 3 years in development. I mean, that's crazy amount of time already. I remember when they announced it, they're like, we're in early development, but really that wasn't the case. They were, now they were supposed to come out later this year, and now it looks like it's not coming out at all. So yeah, I don't know. It's
Knights of the Old Republic
I know that
was a very big game. And I don't think that the people that ended up taking over with it, even though they had it for 3 years or whatever, did not know what they were getting into. There's so many assets to that game.
Not only that, though, it's tied to more.
Yeah, that helped a lot of American RPGs grow to what they are today.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is phenomenal for what it did. It started the genre of action RPGs. So this, and I know people mock me when I said this, but I don't think this developer was ready for what they had handed to them in their hands. And they couldn't handle it.
You said it started the genre for action RPG?
Well, for
No, he
as
said
far
it done a lot. I think he said it done a lot for.
yeah, it's done a lot. when it came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a lot of people have never done what that game has done.
I know Aspyr hired like 50 ex-Bioware developers, but like when I first heard that, I was like, oh, okay, so they really got a lot of people who actually worked on the original game. But the truth of the matter was they didn't get a lot of people that used to work on the game. They got ex-Bioware developers, but some of them were people who worked on Andromeda.
Yep.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's like that's not good.
That's a downer right there.
Right. Those aren't the ex guys I was looking for. You know, so
yes.
When there was the rumors coming out that this was going to be remade, and like no one knew who the dev was. I was hoping it would be like Archetype Entertainment or Obsidian, you know, people who actually have people on staff who worked on the first two games. People, Archetype Entertainment is full of ex-Bioware developers that actually worked on the game. Drew Karpyshyn is their lead writer. He was the lead writer for Mass Effect Trilogy, and he was the lead writer for the original game. So it's like Archetype would be perfect. And then it's like it's Aspyr, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. But it's just like I'm thinking like this would be. It's so far out of their wheelhouse. It's like the equivalent of Sony going to Nixxes and saying, "Hey, Nixxes, why don't you do an Uncharted 2 remake for us?" Like, why would you ask Nixxes to do that? Like, that's not what Nixxes does.
Yeah,
they make ports for games.
Well, you know, so here's my take on in case everyone's kind of like bummed out about it. I agree with what the panel's saying. But you remember when Zack Snyder had to step away from Justice League, right? You know, the other, I don't remember the other guy's name. You guys, I know you guys know who he is. The other
whatever he did, he killed it.
Well, he did kill it in a sense. I agree with you. But my point being is that you can still have a director come in and still kind of take over from where they were. Now, they have to find, the reason it's indefinitely is...
you talking about
you got to find out how bad it was.
What?
They might,
you can do that.
They might have to start all the way from scratch.
Well, I'm saying
they fired the design director, so like,
yeah,
they probably need to start from scratch. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, the art director and design director. So like, you gotta make all new assets here because art, you know, maybe the character models weren't looking great or something. A design director, so I mean. That's a lot that has to change.
And you're going to change the RPG elements of it too.
That was already going to happen regardless. Which they're never going to modernize combat and all that stuff. But
if you don't have good developers for that know about how to make an RPG like that, it's not going to work. You want to change the assets, but you want to keep them pure. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, I just think that it's not a bad analogy on record. I think that if you want to have, I didn't know it was the design as well. But I mean, if you had somebody that was coming in that was just the game director, you could have another director. It would take time to find one that would be willing to do it. That's why Dark said no right away as well, because Dark working in the movie industry, the TV business, you know, when somebody is the director and that person's let go, it's hard to find another director that's going to be willing to put their name on something that's not their creation, right? Or the way that they would actually direct.
Like you said,
I actually got
you got a dip it?
Yeah, I got a dip. I appreciate the invite. It was fun coming through.
What kind of shit is this, man? He's just here for like a few seconds. What the fuck?
I was here for 30 minutes.
Dark, it's a great.
He's got 4 more podcasts to do tonight.
He's doing another 2.
I was here for 30
so he's one of those. He's one of those that play podcasts and not play video games. Okay.
Ben, don't make Big show you his credentials and resume. Come on.
I've seen your credentials, man.
It's out there,
in the chat, no Big Claus credentials. You want to see my credentials?
That's so funny, man. No, Ben, thank you for being here, buddy. The Great Crap Gamer also had told me early on he had to leave at 8:30 as well tonight. But Ben, thank you, buddy. I really appreciate you stopping by the show.
No problem.
Let everyone know where they can find you, man.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. That like button, Big Cloud Gaming, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. You can find me there. You can also find me IGN. I'm one of the curators for playlists. We've upgraded the site. A lot of cool stuff. Make your playlists, make your own, share them with your community, and build. Have fun.
Awesome,
you guys
buddy.
have a good one.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, brother.
Gonna switch over to another subject here real quick because I mean the Kotor thing it kind of is what it is. We'll see as more kind of plays out. But there was something interesting, and Wilmy, I'll go to you on this one because I think this kind of hits home. The great Peter Moore, okay, used to run the Xbox division, said in the past that him and his team encouraged the console wars. And I've always been on record as long as everything's done in a very, correct way. I think the console wars are healthy for a few things. A, I think it's fun banter back and forth. B, I also think it's very good for the industry, right? Same way you have I'm a diehard Mets fan. Right now we're playing the Florida Marlins. They're a rival. They're in the division. We give each other more shit than other teams we may play. We just played the Yankees and swept them. But nonetheless, we that's our crosstown rival. What do? We kind of give them some shit. It keeps the sport healthy. It keeps your own team and clubhouse healthy. I think that's where Peter Moore was going. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said we encourage the console wars. I feel recently, okay, we've seen that new management doesn't encourage the console wars, or at least that's how they are on social media. They seem to think everything is awful, everything is toxic. So where are you, Wilmy, on what Peter Moore and where we came from with his era to kind of where we kind of sat and got with this new administration in today's Xbox executive staff, or brass, if you will?
I kind of agree with you on one thing. I mean, it does keep everything in conversation.
Yes,
it really does. But just like everything else, you get people that take shit way too seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, way too seriously. Like you were using sports a second ago as an analogy.
Mm-hmm.
I have two friends that I grew up with that to this day will not talk to each other because
really?
one is a Duke fan, the other one is a Tar Heel fan.
My lord.
And I grew up with both of these guys, and they won't talk to each other anymore.
Wow, that's what you were saying. That's when it gets extreme, right?
But the console war thing kind of works the same way with a lot of people. But I don't know, man. It drives conversation. It does keep them, sometimes it actually gets them a lot of recognition.
Absolutely. I think it does wonders for the business.
It does because it keeps people talking about it. But some people do go way overboard. You've seen, developers get threats, other people getting threatened. Like, the chair I sit in.
Yes.
I've got this big, giant custom Xbox chair I sit in when I do the podcast.
That's right.
I actually had a dude got mad because of the chair and reported me to YouTube saying it was hate speech. Because I have this big chair behind my back and it's got my gamer tag on it.
Oh, God.
Man, you get it from everywhere, don't you?
And, well, that's the beauty of being me because I just don't give a fuck.
Right.
I think it's hilarious. But, because I don't care who I offend. Fuck them. But the thing is,
yep, just like me. I'm the same way.
It's just people get carried away, and it is good for the conversation. It does drive competition.
Yes.
Because I've seen people go, well, Sony should go away, Microsoft should go away. No, they shouldn't. Because who wants one company creating everything?
Agreed.
Because you are going to get a bunch of shit for games like E.T. back from the Atari days. Because Atari was about the only thing we had back then.
I got 5 copies of E.T.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you, SirXMan.
Dude, I got like
bad for you about the heart surgery, bro, but now I feel worse for you because you own E.T.
I got 170 Atari games, dude, so I'm good.
But the bad part...
And 5 of them are E.T. Oh,
that's sad.
Yeah, but 4 of them are Yard's Revenge, too. The greatest game, one of the greatest games ever.
Well, but it does drive competition.
I like your stance. I really do, and I think the panel overall will agree with it. But Slow-Mo, I want to get Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo, what is your take on this? Because a lot of times, and I haven't seen it recently. But Slow-Mo, you've had your fair share of back and forth, as have myself and many others on Twitter. What's your take from what Peter Moore and what he meant by that, and where we are today?
I mean, I wasn't surprised by it, especially like with the way that they marketed things back then compared to now.
Right.
And of course, there's new management in place, and And the Phil Spencer era is very much a kumbaya. Hey, we're all friends here. Let's, we celebrate our opponents as well as our friends, kind of place. But that the communities that they've created haven't changed. So it's like, it's even though they aren't really kind of like fighting that fight, the people that have been kind of indoctrinated in that still are. And
Right.
it's cool when it's just like, light ribbing here and there. But as Wilmy said, like some of this stuff, some of the cringe things that we've all seen, like where if you say something that truthful or not, that offends someone else's piece of plastic, like people are out here trying to dox people, trying to like get their channel shut down, all kinds of weird stuff where people just take it too far. And I think when it comes to fandoms, like you're always going to have that element of the weirdos that just don't know what the line was, like they passed it 5 miles ago but they still going. And it's unfortunate we still have to deal with that, but that's human nature. That's the way things are.
It's funny because
it's never going to go away.
You bring up an interesting point with the current administration here, and they're doing the whole kumbaya thing. But if you remember, when we were at the end of last generation, we would see pictures of Reggie, Sean, and Phil, and they were all kind of like, they looked like they were standing on like the podium, and their hands were they're holding each other's hands with their hands up in the air, like to posing for pictures. You don't see that anymore. And I think it's because people kind of know that was all. I myself personally, I think that was all fake. I mean, you've got a situation right now where Sony's out there trying to grab, and we'll get to it to our next subject real quick. Square Enix, maybe another deal coming in with a developer or a publisher or some sort, and you got Microsoft out there spending billions upon billions of dollars to grab games that were formerly on all consoles, and now they're only going to be on Xbox and Game Pass. That doesn't scream kumbaya and let's share a candle. You know what I mean? That just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's kind of.
Also, I don't think like if Phil Spencer is in a room with Jim Ryan, they're like giving each other the finger.
No,
and, like,
no,
it's not like
there's nothing like that.
No. They're businessmen. They're businessmen and they're professionals. Absolutely not.
Right.
No.
But business is business when it comes to like.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest. Slow-mo, if me and you are competitors, okay, and we're both businessmen, and you're an executive, and I see you at a shared gaming event, I'm going to shake your hand. We're going to have a great conversation. At the end of the day, though, when I get back in my car, you get back in yours, I'm going to be like, somebody get on the phone and get me that company before slow-mo gets to them now. So, you know what I mean? My point being is that it still gets down to business. So it's not. The thing about it is I think the console wars are kind of a healthy thing, and I think that the part that bothers me about being, where the executives are anti that now on the Xbox side is the point that it drives their business. Yeah. I mean, you look at all the gaming podcasts that are out there. There's I want to say thousands. I think there's millions. I don't know how many are out there.
Dude, everybody with a fucking pulse has a podcast.
Wilmy, this is my point. But the thing is, though, every time we hit the live button, okay, it's advertising for all the companies. So they sit there and they say, we don't really like that. By the way, thank you for promoting all of our brands for the last X amount of months. It is. So, like, it's like when they say they don't like it, I kind of, it irks me a bit because I think that they do like it and they're just doing a fake front. I kind of rather where Sony comes from. Sony doesn't say shit about it. Sony doesn't say they like it. They don't say they don't. Nintendo doesn't say they like it. When's the last time Bowser came out there and said a damn thing? Nothing.
Yeah, they don't. Nintendo
I don't even know what that guy's voice sounds like.
Nobody knows what Bowser sounds like. You know what I mean? And you only see Jim Ryan at the Sony events. They're pre-recorded. It's like
he's usually like
Bowser just grunts. He's like
he usually says the thank yous at first.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's only Xbox.
Usually Jim Ryan's just like thank you at first, and then that's about it.
They get angry about it. I'm like, you're angry about it, but it's giving you guys a tremendous amount of money.
Why does everybody forget that Microsoft ain't trying to compete with nobody? Phil says, I'm looking forward to the new God of War. Can't wait to play it.
Sure, of course he is.
I mean, I don't think any of these companies are really
Microsoft really cares about is Google and Amazon Cloud. That's
almost done, dude.
I'm not buying into that.
They are trying.
That's a great
Microsoft
PR speech.
Microsoft is slowly and meticulously trying to take over the gaming world. Nobody sees it.
Oh, no,
All they do is
we
cry
see it.
about what they do.
No, we
You gotta
see
stop
it,
the
Sir
games.
X-Man.
I mean,
You gotta stop the games
SirXMan,
first. You can't just take
see your
over without
point,
a.
SirXMan, but then
Yes.
that said, they still have all the ZeniMax games not going to PlayStation anymore. Any new games
Right.
Oh, yeah,
that
we know.
ZeniMax makes are not going to PlayStation, and they were very pointed to say that, like, when it comes to Activision Blizzard King, that like existing IPs that have existed on PlayStation will still be there, but that doesn't say anything for new IP that they
Right.
are developing, like that survival
That's a
game
fact.
that Blizzard
That's
is
a
doing.
fact.
That's
That's a
not
fact.
going to PlayStation. So, like, although they may say, like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with celebrating good content. We even see PlayStation do that when, like, there's a good Xbox game. They were like, "Hey, great job!"
Yeah, they do.
Like,
Yes, they
because
do.
it's celebrating good
It's been a
competition
while
and
since
good,
they've done that,
and good
but yeah.
quality.
Well,
That-
Forza
darn.
3 hot.
when they
Forza
say
Horizon
good job,
3
they're
Hot
saying
Wheels,
to
they
their
want
own,
it,
hold on. They're saying to their own people, do better than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't because even though you may acknowledge quality content from your competition, you still want to do better than them.
That's
So
a
that
fact.
like so it's like it's not they say publicly, yeah, our competitors are really just Google and Amazon. Because really what they want Google and Amazon to do is butt out of their business. So
That's a fact.
when it comes to money, they have nothing to worry about financially when it comes to Nintendo and Sony. Combined, the two of them don't equal what they have in their war chest. But like they're not trying to take on too much as it is. They're not trying to deal with trying to outbid Amazon and Google, while they're also trying to come up with games that are of the same level of quality as Sony and Nintendo.
Oh yeah, I know that.
currently
But
failing.
we wasn't
So-
talking about for their gaming division. They're for the Amazon and Google gaming division. No, that's the last thing on their mind.
And,
But
but that's the point. They
The
said that
Fallout is their biggest thing.
they came out and said that that's what they're worried about, maybe in services and things as such. But as far as the gaming network goes, and I'll let Jez, I want to hear what Jez has got to say. Jez is joining the show.
That's all, guys.
I just think that when it comes down to it, I think it's very much a Sony versus Xbox versus Nintendo type of thing. Now that type of how you want to kind of scale that is you guys can determine it differently than I would, or define it, pardon me, differently than I would. But I just think that's why I'm kind of there's a couple situations here where you kind of call BS. But Jez, what do you think when you hear the Peter Moore world versus where we are now?
Yeah, I think. What's up, guys? How you doing? Happy
What's up,
Friday!
guys? Happy Friday,
God,
everybody.
it's Friday,
Absolutely.
dude. Drinking my goddamn chocolate vodkas. Yo, it's been a hell of a week.
Vodka.
Everybody's on chocolate vodka. What did I miss?
What the
Dude, it's
fuck?
What the hell's going on?
dude, it is. It's been a hell of a week. But yeah, so Peter Moore. You know, the thing about Peter Moore is that he definitely did this console. Like he led this thing very aggressively, and you gotta remember the times he came on as a Dreamcast. He was part of Sega, and Sony kind of put Sega out to pasture, and Sega did themselves too, with just their bad performance of their consoles and just not having clear. Even though Dreamcast was incredible, I love the Dreamcast was awesome. It was ahead of its time, and the fact that kind of he came off from that Sega bout of the Dreamcast of them just shutting it down, and then came over to Xbox. And I remember even Xbox had early like Sega games, like it was like the home for like some of the Sega games, like Jet Set Radio and things like that. So he definitely had a little angst towards Sony. Like he wanted to stick it back to them, and he's a competitor. He loves sports, so he has that kind of fire in him, and he kind of wanted to get back at them. And he was very aggressive with the 360, and we loved that. I remember the tattoo with the whole. It was
GTA
awesome.
4. GTA
Dude,
4.
it was the GTA 4 tattoo with the Halo tattoo he did. Like it was just awesome. The aggression that Microsoft had, because that's what they needed. Sony was very dominant with the PS2, and they needed this revival, and they had something unique with Xbox Live.
And he had the backing of the biggest competitor. Oh my God, Bomber, Steve Ballmer. Steve
Ballmer was much more aggressive than Satya. Yeah. So that era was definitely getting Xbox on the map, which disappoints me to see where they are now, where they were such the aggressor and really putting themselves on the map and had to do so much effort. They even had to tout, even Don Matrick touting Hideo Kojima on stage for the announcement of
Metal
what is
Gear
it?
Solid
The
5.
Metal Gear 5,
Yeah,
5, right?
absolutely.
We got Kojima on here. They had one more thing, Final Fantasy 13 releasing day and date, of 11, I think it was 11. Day and date. That was a one more thing, getting that out there. Doing a lot of the Japanese things, like trying to address a lot of the weaknesses at Xbox or the shooter box that they didn't want to be.
Right.
And they spent so much time doing this stuff, and now to do the Kumbaya role in gaming and this kind of roasting marshmallow stuff, I think the console war, there needs to be inherent competition between these two companies. They need to know what the other's doing and do what could kind of like bring that fan base there, because when you have two big companies or three or whatever trying to fight for your dollar, that is the best time. When you're sitting there going, holy crap, there's Halo 3, there's Metal Gear Solid 4, they're battling head to head. Who's going to be the big holiday game? Guess what? You buy both of them, you're playing both of them. Like, who is better there? Instead of looking at 2022 and you're just like, right. At least somebody's doing something, and you're sitting here going, like, what's going on? And you want that competition. You want to have that fight, especially at the holidays. Like, E3 was like the showtime for, like, this holiday, get ready. This is the big guns are going to be coming out. Everybody's fighting with each other. So I want them. I want them to go tooth and nail, beat the shit out of each other, and we get all the victors of all this other stuff. I don't want them. I understand they're part of the gaming industry, but I look at it as like a football game. Before the game, they're ready to kill each other. At the end of the game, I'll shake your hand, a good game and stuff like that. But before the game, imagine one other thing, Mooch. Imagine if the fans will like go to see a football game, and before they're all hugging each other, doing all this, and you're like, you're like, am I gonna see hard hits? Is this two-hand touch?
Yeah,
you want to see them kill each other, and then at the end, you're like, oh, good.
You made a good point though, Jez, and that's what I'd like to see. Look at what's happening right now. You've got Microsoft right now, Xbox, where they really didn't have those. They didn't have the role-playing games in their own portfolio. They go out, they get ZeniMax, right? The Bethesda. Now they've got Obsidian. This is what they're really trying to get, that Western RPG, right? What is Sony lacking? They've lacked that shooter. So what do they have? They've got live service games coming. I know people keep saying that that's a bad thing. I would wait before let's see what they got coming, because I really think that what Sony's trying to build is something special. Now, whether it will be or not, they thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, they thought they had the next greatest thing with Warhawk back on the PS3, right? Was it Warhawk?
Yeah.
And myself personally, I couldn't get into
that. I like Warhawk.
Everybody liked it but me.
I had fun.
That's a me problem. But I think what they're going to try and do right now is they're going to try to make their own Call of Duty in a sense, okay, not mimic it, but they're going to try and do something that has that kind of flair that catches fire amongst the gaming community. So Sony's doing something out of their wheelhouse. Of course, they're always going to have a ton of great relationships with their Japanese developers and who they do work with now. So the RPGs are all going to be there. Those single-player games you guys love and adore are going to be there. But now you're also going to expand the PlayStation onto having that multiplayer interface, which has been lacking in terms of, you might go, well, Mooch, you're full of shit. There's a great game on a PlayStation. I got it. There's always one. But they want to have more in their portfolio. Xbox is doing the same thing with their Western RPGs. They're going to have a lot more of them in there. Again, it just so happens that I just told you I didn't like Warhawk very much. What they try to do in the PS3 era. I'm not a big Bethesda fan, right? I've never played any of the I've tried the Fallouts. They were never my bag. I never liked the Dishonored.
I'm the same.
It's just I just don't care for them. They're very boring to me. They get stale quick. That's a me problem. I'm not saying you guys have to feel that way. So when Microsoft acquired ZeniMax, and they're like, look, they took all the Bethesda games off the table. I was like, not on my table. They were never on my table. So I didn't care. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Speaking of tables, Mooch.
Yes, please,
brother,
Wilmy.
I appreciate it. I have got to get out of here because I have a ribeye waiting for me
that's
for
not
dinner.
fair. Wilmy,
Oh,
I learned a lot on this podcast. I learned that I need to move closer to Wilmy. Listen, Wilmy, thanks for being here, buddy. Great to have you back. You're feeling 100%. Let everybody know they can find you, and we're looking forward to when you're back on your regularly scheduled program.
Actually, we will be back Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can find me on Gaming Beyond the Box on YouTube. You can find me as WillMeHood on Twitter. But I will warn you, I love to offend people. I love to piss people off. That's how it makes my nipples rock fucking hard doing it, man. I can't help myself. and I do mean, dude, I could cut glass with these puppies after you send me a message.
So great. Well, Wilmy, thanks for being
man.
here, buddy. Enjoy dinner, man. Thanks for being here, and we will all be tuning in Wednesday night.
And X-Man, I'm glad you're better, brother. And Slow-Mo, it's good talking to you again. And Mooch, I will see you on PlayStation probably over the weekend.
Yes, hopefully. Blood Hunt, buddy. We got to get on.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, Wilmy. Thank you, buddy.
I will,
You know, so I like doing the speed round here. We only got like 5 minutes left. And then listen, I got news for you. It's hot in New York. Gonna go outside. I'm gonna enjoy. I think Jez says he's already on his second or third drink. I'm not counting, by the way.
No, damn. This is only my first one.
No, Astro Cyborg. He says, Mooch, you're scaring all the guys away. No, I think what's funny about it is maybe it's the yelling. It might be the yelling. But when it comes down to that has something to do with it. That's why I think
it was the hard nipples. That's what happened.
No, the hard nipples will make a lot of people run.
Yeah.
But you know what I think it really comes down to is I love what CrossFire's kind of really grown into. We have our panel. By the way, BRAP's on vacation. So the Great Gaming Forte's working tonight. This is also Xbox 448's night to work. So we got a great panel on tonight. Thank you, also Slow-Mo. Thanking Bit for coming on. And they've also were working all freaking night long. They came on to do the show, which is amazing. So I like the ever-evolving and the great Jez7780, which, by the way, Jez, even when you're not in the chat, people are still talking about Jez. They're like, anybody catch Jez's show? It's great. I'm like, yes, it is great. I'm always there. I always catch you. The problem is on Monday nights, I don't get a chance to hang out. I know. I watch, but you're off air by then. I usually tune in. I get to your channel around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes you're still live. Sometimes you're still live.
Yeah, sometimes.
You are. No, sometimes you are. Shout out to the great Percolator 9000. Time flies. 8 months. Glad everyone is well. Just got over COVID. It sucked. Percolator, I'm glad you're feeling better, buddy. The great Percolator 9000, everybody. Please hit that like button, by the way. Let me do one more quick speed round here. I kind of want to just go over. There was something here that was really kind of getting me. Let's do this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the PlayStation Plus August lineup. We've got Yakuza Like a Dragon, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, Little Nightmares. Now, you're probably saying, Mooch, why are you bringing that up? Not really a big deal. It is a big deal. Here's the reason. A lot of people...
Better. It's better.
It is better, but before we get to the obvious, here's the not so obvious to some. Well, it's better than... I think it's better than Games with Gold.
Better than what Games with Gold. Way better than Games with Gold.
The new game in Games with Gold is a Mooch and Crap production. So
I'm an Xbox. I'm an Xbox guy, so...
But I'll tell you,
I don't know where they're finding those games, dude.
I don't either. To be honest with you,
they're recycling them.
They really are. It's like half of one bad game and half of another glued
together. And then
together.
they find old, like they're redoing them again. Like, yeah, it's insane.
But my point being here, though, is a lot of people didn't go up to the PS Plus Extra or PS Plus Premium. Not everybody made that leap, regardless of the deal or not in place. So they're still giving PS Essential, which is the bottom tier, these games. So not only are the Plus, the Extra, and the Premium getting it. Slow-Mo, what do you think about this? Because I didn't get it. And if I didn't ask you, Slow-Mo, I apologize. Did you, by chance, go to PS Plus Extra or Premium, or are you still at Essentials? Where are you?
I was automatically transitioned into Premium because I had PS Now. So so having both of them combined gave you PS Premium.
But do you see my point, Slow-Mo? Like the Essentials are still getting a game like Yakuza Like a Dragon, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, Little Nightmares. I mean, these are games that you might say, well, I already played them. That's fine. But a lot of people didn't. I played Yakuza Like a Dragon on Xbox, but I want my trophies. So I'm going to play it again on PlayStation. That's kind of a gift for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because Sony has very different goals with the PS Plus tiers that Xbox has with Game Pass.
Yeah.
As we saw when they doubled the price of Xbox Live Gold, they don't want you on Xbox Live Gold anymore. So like they're not going to be actually signing deals to get quality titles into Xbox Live.
They'll take your $60
they'll still take your $60.
They don't want you there, but they'll take your money.
But they'd much rather have you on Game Pass. Is what they matter.
Right.
And so when they're going to make a deal, they're going to make a deal to get a game into Game Pass day and date or a Game Pass a month or two after launch or whatever. They're not really caring about putting games into Games with Gold. So the stuff that you get in there is literally stuff that you never even heard of before. Dora and Laura, goes hiking. That's your game in Games with Gold. Like, what the heck is that? No one knows. No one never heard of it. No one cares.
I'll catch y'all later. Have a good show, everyone.
The great SirXMan, everybody. Thank you, SirXMan. Appreciate you joining us, and I'm glad you're feeling better, brother.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thank you,
SirXMan.
everyone.
Take care, bro. Yeah, it's just like with Sony actually has a goal of like giving something for all the tiers. Of course, like, your top tier is going to be able to get like, the game trials, the time trials of like any game that's above the price of $30 or so. You're going to be able to play that game at least 2 hours of it before you decide whether you want to buy it or not. Like that's a good benefit right there. But that's not something you're going to get at the extra or lower tier. But it's still going to make sure that, like, if you're on those tiers, that you are getting good content there. I think that's a smart decision for them. But for them, it's like they've incorporated what they were already doing more into what they are now doing. So for them, it's not like we need to take away from what you were getting before in order to get you to move up, which is where Xbox is different, because they got a whole different service that they're trying to move you and transition people over to.
No, that's a great point, Slow-Mo. Jazz, what do you think when you hear this? I mean, because to be honest with you, the big fear, you guys remember the fear, everybody likes to strike fear in the hearts of everybody. The fear was that the PlayStation Plus Essentials, the low tier, once they wanted you to upgrade, they were going to take away these good games they were giving away every month. Doesn't seem like they are.
Nope, they added actually value to it because they were doing great games in the Essential, the $60 1 year basic PlayStation Plus. Since the PlayStation, since the PS4, they were dropping some really great games in there. And actually, when they moved to the PS5, they started dropping in their basic $60 a year PlayStation Plus 1 PS5 game and 2 PS4 games. That was kind of their thing each month. Or it'll be a PS5 upgrade to a PS4 game. They did Final Fantasy. They did the Worms they did some day and dates. They did Destruction All-Stars. So they were always giving away some PS5 content with their basic subscription, $60, same as Xbox Live base. But Xbox was never doing this stuff. But PlayStation was giving PS5 games in this one. Now, actually, with this rebrand or with this restructuring, they improved the base plan because now you're getting 2 PS5 games and a PS4. So they're giving you Tony Hawk, PS5 and PS4 version, and Like a Dragon, the PS5 and PS4 version, and Little Nightmares, the PS4 version. So you're getting 2 PS5 games with the essential ones, which actually is more than what you were getting prior to this restructuring. Then on top of that, they got the extra and the premium. The key that Sony did moving into this thing was that Sony was not competing against themselves. They were not trying to shift people over because PS Plus and PS Now, you did not need online subscription base plus in order to play online games in PS Now. You didn't need that. PS Now included PS Plus in it. So if there was an online game that got put into that service, you wouldn't need that. Xbox has this problem where they went base Xbox Game Pass does not include live, and Xbox Live is needed for that. So why don't you buy them both for $15? Because for $10, Game Pass, half of those games in there, some of those games you can't even play. Sea of Thieves, you pay $10 for Game Pass, you could download it, but you can't play it because you don't have Xbox Live.
Right.
Gears of multiplayer, can't play it. So the thing is that like this restructuring not only is Game Pass the competitive area right here, Sony actually put so much pressure on Microsoft for their base plan, their base Xbox Live, made it look so bad compared to their base service.
Bare bones, yeah.
It's Microsoft, and then on top of that, in the next coming months, I think in October, Microsoft's dropping the 360 games from there, and they didn't say what they're replacing them with.
Back compat's gone, 360 games are going to be gone.
What are they going to add? They didn't even say we're going to add Xbox One X or Series X games to that.
That's
they just said
really good point.
You're not getting them.
It's a really good point you bring up, too, with the whole fact that, like you said, Game Pass, they should have Game Pass. The $9.99 Game Pass should include gold. And then if you wanted to do Game Pass, Ultimate Game Pass, that includes your PC access, right? And maybe throw a couple
and cloud.
Throw a couple of cloud, another couple of
thought
great
the
perks.
base Game Pass does include Xbox Live.
No, only on PC it does, not on console.
Not on console.
$9.99
the $9.99 a month does not include gold. The Ultimate
guarantee
does.
It.
Ultimate does.
I guarantee. Yes.
The Ultimate does for $15 a month.
Yes.
But not Xbox Game Pass at $9.99.
On console.
On console.
Yes.
Wow.
It does not include gold.
So you have
you
to.
Need
so for
gold.
someone like me, since there's no first-party games coming out this year, when my dollar deal expires later this year, I'm going to just go to the store and I'm going to buy I believe I have to go buy a physical card for Xbox Live Gold because I can't buy the $60 option digitally.
You
anymore.
can, Mooch. You can.
Oh, you can
got to call
digitally?
their custom. No, you got to call their customer service because it's not on the dashboard.
It's not on the
You got to
dashboard.
go. You got to go to one of their check marks or customer service people to add it. Like they make it inconvenient. It's almost like canceling AOL.
They're
Basically,
forcing you
that's
to
what they
move
do.
up, and that's the thing.
Yes.
They're like, oh, Mooch, you got to stop saying
Exactly.
that. It's there. No, it's
It's
not.
the truth.
It's not there. You have to jump through
they're
fire
doing.
hoops. Yeah. So I'm gonna just get gold for a year. You know. But I was talking to a friend of mine who did that. He let his Ultimate Game Pass expire, and when it expired, he went and got the year of gold. But you can still go. I think you can still go to a brick and mortar though, Jazz, and get a
You can. That's the only place you can.
Yeah.
Because they kept that there. But if you want to do it conveniently on the dashboard, that option's not there anymore. You have to call up their help desk and add it.
Right.
Or go get a card from a retailer.
You go get a card
Those
from
are
a
the only two
retailer. But
ways.
my friend who
You
did
get it 1 year.
that and got the card from the retailer, he ended up getting prompted by Xbox when he put the code in, and they gave him
do Ultimate.
Ultimate for $1
Yeah,
for
but-
like 3 or 6 months out of the year he got. Yeah.
And what they do is if you go buy other cards, after your Ultimate subscribes, if you go buy other cards, the value of that card, the monetary value, they will compare it to, equivalent it to how many years of $15 a month could get you. So that might give you, 4 months of, if you do an Xbox Live $60, they'll be like, hey, do you want 4 months of Ultimate or 1 year of Live? You know, because it's $60 and that's equivalent. Yeah, they are really in a bind right now. Like, and I don't know if this Xbox dropping 360 games and they're going to rebrand this thing, but they need to because this Sony move really put pressure on Microsoft services. And the thing is Sony's leveraging games. And as you see, Yakuza coming into the $15 a month pass, Yakuza just left Xbox.
Yep.
This is going to be the battle of the services. And
That's
those
right,
games
yes.
that Microsoft was leveraging, they're going to be meeting mano a mano.
Right, all these
That's
games,
what they're going to do.
all these games that go day and day into Xbox, you're going to start seeing competitively the games going day and day into extra and premium, and that's what's going to not the day and date first party Sony games, but the AAA and double
Exactly.
some AAA
It's an alternative.
and AA indie games will it's an alternative. That's where that's why when Jim Ryan said we're going to have a competitor to Game Pass, this is the competition. It's not their first party studios going in day and date. But it's going to be the AA indies that go in like Stray and some third-party games, maybe like Outriders. You'll start seeing games of that nature that are inexpensive for a company to go grab and put into their service. So I think that's where Sony's going to compete. And by the way, Slow-Mo, I apologize in advance. The Great Gaming Forte, he's got.
I see him.
He says, "How
I
can
see
Slow-Mo
him.
not know this?" He goes, "You know, the man transitioned to PC a decade ago." Listen,
And I
On
just
PC, it's
responded
free.
to him.
Yeah.
Did you
I
respond to him?
I told her, I said, look, why am I supposed to know that? On PC, we don't pay for things you're supposed to have for free. Okay, so look,
Yep.
why would I know these things? All right, I didn't know that you guys had it that bad over there.
It's
My
bad over
apologies.
here,
Dude,
Slow-Mo.
no, the best deal is Xbox Game Pass base, not Ultimate on PC.
Right.
If you want just to play their games. Like that's how I
Right,
do
right.
it.
I'll tell you something.
but-
You would hear my tune change if the $9.99 Game Pass included gold. My tune would
Oh
change.
yeah, I think
would-
that would be pretty.
I
That would be
re-up-
good.
I would re-up my Xbox Game Pass in a heartbeat.
And another thing, Mooch, here's another fact. There is still no annual purchase for Game Pass. And Sony has all annual purchases for all their services and all of them at extreme discounts. $120 gives you plus and the maximum, the classic games and everything for 1 year, $120, which if you pay $17 a month, that is more money. It's almost like $100 savings if you buy 1 year of premium. If you buy the other one, it's $100. So they have all 1 year basic subscriptions for their services that have big discounts. Xbox doesn't have it. You got to buy straight up $180 in Game Pass. Either you pay monthly or you buy 4 months, but it's actually $15 a month. There's no way of getting a discount for an annual subscription. So,
okay.
9 Lives keeps thinking that promoting services. Dude, I'm just stating the facts of the differences of them. If
Yeah.
it bothers you, it shows that Xbox is screwing you.
Yeah.
So drink that Phil Ness, dude.
If you're upset about it, it really is. And it should bug.
Dude, this is the facts. Go read it.
I think it should bug you a bit. It really should.
Yeah.
They're taking it something that was
They're taking advantage of you.
A $60 item, and they even took it off the. They took it
Go to my channel. Hear all
the
about
dashboard, and now you gotta pay $15 a month if you want that convenience, or you gotta go to a brick and mortar and get a card, which I'm gonna do. I mean, it's not the end of the world.
That's what you need to do. Yeah.
But by them removing it, you have to admit something. Whether you're an Xbox fan, PlayStation fan, or a fan of your own wallet. The fact that they took it off the dashboard, that I just can't go on there and re-up for Xbox Live Gold, it tells you the intent. It tells you the intent. The intent is to move you up. And that's fine. I get that. But I prefer PlayStation's methodology where if you just want to stay at $60 and get the essentials and still get games like Yakuza Like a Dragon, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, and Little Nightmares, still every month games like that for the $60 a year? I mean... You can clearly see, I think we always say it's consumer friendly, but go ahead, Dark. I want to hear what you got to say, too.
I don't subscribe to any of that shit.
Which I applaud you, by the way.
I don't subscribe I don't subscribe to Game Pass. I don't subscribe to PlayStation Plus. I don't subscribe to any of it.
There should be an asterisk.
Because you know why?
I know why.
It's all a fucking scam.
It's
Dark.
That's
all it is. It's all it is. It's all a fucking scam.
It is a scam. Dark. It's all a scam, but people need to know the asterisk. The asterisk is that Dark Optimus also hates people and doesn't play multiplayer games.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't play multiplayer games.
Well, no,
so I have no reason to have.
You're a single player guy.
Plus.
You're a single player guy. Period.
Exactly.
I mean, period.
And I have no reason to have that stuff.
Right.
No reason at all.
Right. I mean, that's a caveat.
And their incentives. You know, people are like, well, what do you do about cloud gaming? I don't
partake in that at all.
Dude, I see Sony got a strap on now. Pause.
Well, they're like, well, what about cloud saves? And I'm like, I don't need it.
He doesn't need
all
them.
All my saves saved to the console anyway.
That's right. 100%.
So,
and if you want to back it up, you can put a thumbstick in there and you back up for years.
Exactly.
Exactly. So Dark, you'll never hear me promote that you need to go buy one of those services. You just don't.
Mm-hmm. You don't need it.
You don't.
Yeah, I use it as an alternative, supplemental gaming. That's what I always feel that these services should have been. Not the mainstream, not all of our first-party games are going into this service. The service should have been either an indie focused and an alternative to gaming.
Owning my games, so if you're
that's fine.
I just
want to play.
Not you, Jess. I'm talking about this dude in the chat where he's just like, you don't have to own every damn game. It's like, yes, I do. I have to own every single game that I play because I don't like the whole. What if I don't get to finish it within the month? What if I don't get to finish it within it's like,
here's another thing I want to say with Sony's thing. When they put those games in there, they do tell you when they're leaving. With Xbox, they don't do that. PlayStation, when they put a big game in there, they'll say leaving in September. So you kind of know. Not that doesn't solve your problem, but the other thing is that when Xbox puts a game in there, there's no end date. Sony's been doing this with the PS Now. It's so weird that like Sony, I feel. Yeah, Sony puts like, hey, this is going to be in here till September, get your game on and stuff like that. But I agree. Like, if you want to own your games, because they do come and go. People are arguing about Yakuza. Yakuza was there, then left, then came back. What was it? Skyrim was there, left when Fallout 76. Fallout was there. Fallout 76 came out. They took it out. Then they put it back in when 76 sucked. So, like, yeah, they're playing with your tugging your strings. If you really want to play your library and appreciate a library, and that's yours that you own, this is not for you, definitely, because this is a very up and down, fickle thing.
Well, you know what's funny?
I just think it's funny
they will
that
give
people...
you a warning, like if you're playing a certain game.
Microsoft, they do have a leaving soon. They do have.
I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny that people are upset that I don't subscribe to these freaking.
People get upset anytime someone does something in gaming that isn't like what they do in gaming.
It's like you do realize that, like, I like owning my games and I like freaking being able to have them at any point. I don't want to subscribe to something that I have to have for a year and then I lose that shit after that year.
Right.
You know, like
I agree, dude.
I get
that's my
that.
problem.
I
is
get
that
that.
I don't want to lose any of
Listen,
that shit,
look at the
you know?
games that are coming out this fall. Let's say PS Plus and Game Pass both had. Let's say they both had them. I still want to own The Last of Us Part 1 remake, right? I still want to own God of War Ragnarok. I still want to own Hogwarts Legacy. I still want to own possibly Gotham Knights. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence with that one. I'm on the fence with that one. But you know, my point being is that even if those games were in a service,
gameplay was fired.
No, wait, you thought it was good, Dark, the latest one?
Yeah, the one with Batgirl.
I didn't see the
That looked
latest
good.
one. I didn't see it. I saw that.
You gotta see the
definitely-
Batgirl.
No, it definitely won the community over, though. I saw a lot of people's attitudes change toward the game.
Yeah.
I guess it just kind of depends on when it lands. You know, because I mean, there's Modern Warfare 2 is going to be coming out, and I definitely want to play the hell out of that. I really, really love that. Be playing a lot of this. Opposite of you, Dark, I do like as you could tell by the gameplay, I do love my multiplayer. I know Slow Mo loves his multiplayer. Jazz, I believe, also digs his multiplayer.
Oh hell yeah!
You guys are fucking weird, man. I'm just kidding.
He's old school.
No, I'm probably the weird
He's
one.
old
I'm gonna
school.
tell you right now,
the weird one out of all of you guys.
I can't get enough of the Steam Deck with goddamn Rocket League. That is like the ultimate thing, man. Just like watching the kids, if I'm watching them or whatever.
I'm not-
Like I'm playing Rocket League on the Steam Deck. Like when I'm just
Steam
not
Deck
can't
is
get to my
awesome.
console.
Steam Deck is great, man.
Steam
Look,
Deck-
Dude,
the
it's
Steam
great when you
Deck
have
is-
kids. The Steam Deck.
emulation.
Please.
You know what?
Turtles and Rocket League. That's what I'm playing on.
Shout out to Oh No, It's Alex. I saw he put a video out. I was watching it. I want to go, but there's quite a few steps to the emulation process.
It is.
You know,
Yes.
it's not exactly like, hey, I got a Steam Deck. Let me go play some Super Mario Brothers 3.
Retro Awk, dude. Just put Retro
it-
Awk on there. There's everything in there.
I gotta
That
talk
is
to you
great.
guys. I gotta talk to you guys behind the scene. Maybe you guys can step me through it. Not that it's complicated, but there's just like 16 or 17 steps. King Metro
There's a
Chan,
couple.
he says that's a lie because and I'm not sure who King Metro. You're gonna have to let me know who you heard say this. I didn't hear this. He said that's a lie because I always read articles about what games are leaving Game Pass, and I buy what I want from what's leaving. I only heard people on the panel saying they know about what's leaving.
Yeah, what I was saying was that the PlayStation actually puts a specific date that it's leaving. Xbox does have a place leaving soon. I think PlayStation just added that. So like they do let you know what's leaving soon, but when a game gets entered into PlayStation Plus, it does say like leaving September 15th or something like that. It'll have a specific date as to when it's leaving, especially if it's a bigger game.
Yeah.
Like a GTA or Rocket or Red Dead or something. You know,
I don't want to
What
deal
you're
with
saying
that.
is that like before you even engage in playing the game, you know how long
It says it on the
time
dashboard.
you have with it before it leaves, which is different.
Yeah,
with Game
that's
Pass.
what it
You
is.
don't have like, well, this is only going to be in for 90 days, 3 months, or 6 months, or whatever. You don't know
Right.
how long it's going.
you
to
don't
be
know.
there.
Yeah.
But you will get a warning when it's about to go. So if you
Yes.
want to,
How long's the
And you
warning
should
though,
leave-
Slow Mo?
I think two
usually
weeks,
it's
a
like-
month. I think it's a month.
it's a
Is it a
month.
month?
Like with
Yeah.
if it's on this last month, you'll get I've gotten messages of games that I was playing in Game Pass. I would get like a actual message from Xbox saying the game
Notification,
is
yeah.
leaving. And it's like, do you want to buy it? To continue playing.
You get a
There's-
discount.
There's a 20% discount off on
Yep.
it. Stuff like that. But it's not. It's just done a little differently. But it's not like
It
it's
is.
a horrible thing.
Well, just talking about Doc Optimus saying like they leave and he wants to, but he wants to own the games. Like I understand, and for me, the services I feel like filling in. If you think about Swiss cheese, hey, like filling in the holes. Like I'm buying the things that I want to play, but if there's like little holes, like like Tony Hawk, like I thought that upgrade was very expensive. I wasn't going to pay for it, but guess what? Now it just happens to come in the service that I'm playing for online. So if Tony Hawk PS5 version, because it was like a $20 or something like that upgrade for Tony Hawk. Activision, asking for craziness, and the fact that they're putting it in there. So that's the kind of thing. Like even games that I didn't get to or PS5 versions, other things that I'm going to tell you this. Here's another grindhouse tip: you buy the game physically. And then they show up. Now, Dr. Optimus is probably going to go roll into this. So he's not going to like this. But, I own the game physically. And guess what? It shows up in the service. Like, I had Guardians of the Galaxy, physical. And I was like, right back to GameStop. And I traded in, got like $25, slap on the ass. But guess what? I got $25. Slap on the ass. I bought it for 40
that
though.
game's eventually gonna leave the service, dude. That's
It
that's
will.
why I'm
It
wondering.
probably will. And if I never get to it, I never get to it. And I'll play it again. But like,
Dark might really
cool.
hate this. I haven't bought a physical game since like 2016.
how can
Oh,
you not,
I
dude?
don't
They go on
I
sale.
don't buy physical games. I don't buy
They
physical
drop
games.
in
I
price
buy
so
all
quickly.
digital.
Physical games. They did 2-for-1s at Target, 2-for-1s on Amazon. Physical is like a good crutch to buy games
That's
on
what I was
sale.
just gonna say.
I play Mooch
I
for
see a
my
lot of
my
games go on
Mooch, you
sale
know.
What
digital,
I do, Dark?
like
You talk me in if I can go in digital. You're like, bro,
Well,
you live in
listen,
You're
I-
like, bro,
It's
you
always-
live in
it's always my fault.
California. You
Yeah.
live in a small ass
It's
fucking
always my fault.
apartment.
Yeah.
What if that shit burns down?
Mooch of
And I
all
was like,
people.
God
Yeah,
damn
Oh
it,
my
Mooch is
goodness.
right.
Slow-mo, if you look up recession right now, it's a picture of me. Listen, it's always my fault.
He has
Listen,
GameStop stock.
Right? It's
He
great.
don't want you going there.
I'm numb to
I
it now.
guess.
He's got Twitter. It's Mooch's fault. I'm like, naturally. But anyway, but the thing that's funny about it, though, and I don't, Dark, I remember having that conversation with you. I hear you. But where Jez is right, okay, I say this all the time. I'm about 80-20 digital. But my 20 physical is when I know I'm going to play a game. I'll give you an example. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, right? I played
Yes, that's
that.
what I bought physical.
I beat the
2
shit
for
out
1.
of it. And then got like 45, returned it like a month later, got like 40, maybe it was 35, 40 bucks, something like that.
$35,
Right,
$30,
35 bucks back. And then I got another game, like, because I'm not going to play Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Now, Borderlands 4, that's a digital buy for me. Because I love, I want to own Borderlands. But I knew that this was kind of a spin-off. I didn't have to have it in my repertoire. So I don't really, and like Jez said, now let's fast forward a year and a half. And they have a PlayStation digital sale, right? The PSN summer sale. And it says Tiny Tina's Wonderland is $13. I might pick it up.
Or it shows up in the service. It's like, oh, okay, I'll play it again.
Yeah.
Like that's like I trade in a bunch of games I bought like for holidays, like 2-for-1, dude.
So there's the sale.
You can do that too. And then there's another thing. Sony does have a lot of aggressive sales. I always noticed. I thought they were much more aggressive with their sales.
I think Steam has the best sales.
Well, Steam
Oh,
has,
of course.
Steam
Is the better.
Oh,
Yeah,
without
of
a
course.
doubt.
Steam
Without
will
a
always
doubt.
have the
Yeah,
best
Steam
sale.
always does.
But I will say, I do agree with
I got
Jez's
like the
comment.
whole BioShock collection for like a quarter.
Yeah.
It's all in PlayStation
Dude,
Essentials.
I just when I got just the
You
other
were
day,
like 25 cents. I got that in my shoebox.
3 weeks ago, I was on vacation, and I just decided to go on Steam sale on my Steam Deck. I bought Left 4 Dead 2 for $1.
Doll, dude, that's always
$1.
something. Yeah.
I bought Yakuza 0 for $1.99. I bought another. It's a zombie indie game, which it's fun. Literally, the graphics are from like the NES days, but it's a new indie game. It's just goofy fun. But that was $1. And then I got Resident Evil 4 was $5. So I ended up. I walked out of there. I was like, this is some fun shit to just jam out on a plane in the airport. You know, I'm not gonna get in depth.
yeah.
I don't want to play The Witcher 3 at the airport. You know, but I don't mind
Right.
playing one. Right,
Yeah.
I don't mind playing one of the story missions from Left 4 Dead or a quick indie game with zombies and like survival. That's kind of cool. Every game it resets. It's kind of roguelike. I was like, and I walked out. I spent like $12. I had to make sure that I wasn't holding Steam like hostage.
Dude, the bundles are insane. Did you see that Humble Bundle with all those Lego games for like $10 that was over the weekend?
Dude, it's
It was
insane.
like
Yeah,
every single
I
Lego
bought-
game.
I bought Final Fantasy in one of their sales. I bought Final Fantasy 4, 6, 7, 8,
Yep.
9, 10. I'm gonna keep going.
Two
10.
games.
How much
And I
for,
got them
Slow-mo?
all for like $30.
That's
It's
insane.
insane.
That's insanity.
That's a steal.
It was
It
$10
is.
for
For Game
20
Pass.
Lego
And
games. It
these
was like
were
all
like
over.
these were like the remastered 3D versions of them, where they're like, you know, they added cutscenes in them. And it's
Yes.
like, I mean, they don't look great, but they look better.
They
Than
look
like the
better
Super
than they
Nintendo
did.
version,
Yeah.
like the old
See,
ones. Yeah,
I wonder why like the PlayStation and Xbox don't do like those bundles, like try to make like action bundle
They
or like a
do.
bundle or like the whole series. I know like Ubisoft does it, but Ubisoft they're the masters of don't buy
Yeah.
the game full price. They never go
Valve
full
is
Ubisoft.
very much freer to
Yes,
allow.
I agree with this
allow
stuff. Yeah.
publishers to set their own prices. Like I've read
Yeah.
from publishers where they said, if I want to change my price on Steam, I just go in and change my price on Steam, and it's changed the same day. Whereas on PSN or the Xbox platform, you have to put in a request to do that, and then it takes time to get it
Yeah.
approved, and then you get the sale, and then sometimes they don't approve it. So
Yeah,
that's
see-
if you're even the bigger people. I saw a small indie dev was complaining about how he wanted to put his $30 game on PlayStation on sale for $20, and he couldn't get in touch with his Sony producer, and then he like email after email after email. And this is like after like a month, the guy finally responds with no. It's just like what?
It's like screw the sale. I want to increase the price now.
Right. So it's just like Steam's just way more free.
They got some fun bundles on Steam. Like I think because like maybe a game by itself, but like when they bundle it like with some these crazy bundles, like publisher bundle or things like that, like. It's it's cool. I see Ubisoft does it.
I gotta ask Slow-Mo. All those Final Fantasies though, were they Steam Deck verified or were they the
I'm just looking for it.
I mean, this is before the Steam Deck was even.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Announced it.
It probably
Because
works.
I gotta be honest with you. Are you guys?
I'm sure they work just fine on there.
Don't fall into that trap, Mooch. If it says Steam, if it says like not ready for Steam Deck. It still works. Like I played a bunch of games.
No. Two of the games I bought had the hard to describe these over the air, but there's a green check mark, which means it's verified. Everybody says it's good, and those are good.
That works.
But then there's a middle one that's got like the exclamation mark with a half circle.
Yep. That would be like maybe you need to use like touch or something like that for a menu or things like that.
I find that those work too.
And know what else? I'm going to Mooch one thing. The other thing is if you go to the controller stuff, people add their customizable controllers for Steam Deck in it. So if you go to the little controller of the game, you could download people's profiles of like set up for Steam Deck, even if it doesn't have support for it. Yeah, it's insane.
Okay,
dude, that thing is.
Did V Rising get controller?
I didn't try V Rising. What V Rising?
V Rising. It's
like a.
How do I describe it?
It's with vampires, but it's like I'm trying to think of the game
it's
that
like,
it's similar to.
It's kind of like Diablo, but it's got
like Valheim.
Yeah, Valheim.
Like Valheim.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
But it's isometric view. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't like isometric views.
Well, the thing is, for the Steam Deck, I feel like those games are almost built for it. You know, like Pillars of Eternity. Those types of games are kind of built really well for the Steam Deck. And
Ninja Turtles, baby, on it. Oh my god!
I would never
love it.
I would never play Pillars of Eternity, but I'm really contemplating buying it for Steam Deck. It just seems like a good play.
Well, yeah, a lot of those games are just way better on a handheld.
A portable, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, on a console or a PC.
I played through Oxenfree multiple times.
Yes.
That's a very good game, yeah.
Yeah, Oxenfree's got a great story, but it's like it's very much like an indie style game where it's definitely not pushing the hardware very much. And I reinstalled it on my Steam Deck because I want to play through it again.
Damn.
And it's like the sequel's supposed to be coming out later this year, I think. So I definitely want to play through it again right before. That's the thing I do.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
Play through the previous game again, so I can kind of like refresh my memory on everything before I play a sequel. So I'm going to do that on Steam.
That's an easy platinum too, isn't it, Slow-Mo?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm about 7 trophies short of. I beat Stray, but I'm gonna go back through the chapter. I gotta go back through the chapters and just. There's a couple things I missed here and there. Get a couple of the.
I can't believe the lighting in that game, man. It's incredible.
The game is absolutely beautiful. I'm a little pissed off that they have the one trophy to get the platinum. You gotta beat the game in 2 hours, which that's not. I don't think it's hard.
It's not that bad. It's not hard.
It's not dark. All right, because I was gonna say
no, not at all.
If you know what to do,
well, wait, no, I know where.
Who to talk
listen, I know.
I did it.
Well, that's true, Dark. In that case, anyone can do it, right, Dark? No, I'm kidding. But
yeah,
my point
exactly.
But I mean, you need to know. I have to remember what the level progression. I did so much of the searching around for like the pins and the this and the that like I forgot what was actually going through just to get through real fast. I think it's not. I don't think it's difficult at all.
They need a trophy for knocking over every cup in the game because that's all I do is just mess up tables all the time, knock over everything.
But shout out to like Gaming with Persona. I know he did it. Bari did it. And they said that they got done. I think the quickest I heard was an hour 42. Dark, what was your time? Do you remember?
Mine was an hour and 45.
Okay, so an hour between an hour and 40 and an hour and 50 is what I'm hearing.
Well, it's the cutscenes. It's the cutscenes because the cutscenes freaking.
You gotta spam when those guys talk. You gotta spam that square button.
Yeah, and then you spam that square button when they're talking.
Robots talk like crazy. But if you know what robots to talk to, you can fly right through it.
Yeah, well, it's not that bad. It's really, really not that bad at all. All right, well, listen, guys. Look, I've kept everybody here till 9:30 on this fine Friday evening. It's a warm day. We don't get, like I said, I make an effort to say, I say it's warm here in New York.
It's humid as hell, dude. Oh my god.
Like, so what? Dark Optimus with 363 days of beautiful weather. He gets 2 days of rain.
Salty got a
True.
monsoon yesterday. We couldn't do our show. I was like, "Oh, monsoons!"
I got news for you. If I was salty and it rained like that, I would have went out there like Tim Robbins, right at the end of Shawshank.
He's doing a
It's funny.
monsoon.
You
I was
guys
like,
get like heat waves and stuff. We're like 70s over here.
Yeah, it's always
Great.
70 over there, Dark. Every day.
was that Canada?
Every
Was he
day.
in Canada?
No, he's over in California.
Oh,
Yeah.
get out of here! Oh, they see rain, they go running away. They
It's
like
true.
they're like gremlins out there. They get
Are
wet.
you,
funny.
Dark, are you more Northern California, Middle, or Southern?
Goddamn gremlins, afraid of the water.
The
Southern.
Wizard of Oz.
Southern California.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz.
But-
Exactly.
But the
It's
thing
raining
is that
tomorrow.
I'm from Michigan, so I know what it's like,
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
to
go.
have the 4 seasons and stuff. So
No,
But,
I hear
yeah, I
you.
mean,
I hear you, Dark.
California's just a shit show, anyways.
You guys are something else. If I hit that $1 billion lotto tonight, okay, I'll see you. I'll have a house over and over next to Dark. Dark will probably move after I move
In
near him.
Malibu.
You know what I mean?
Malibu?
Well,
If you're moving to Malibu, I'll move. I'll
will
move
you
in
come?
with
Malibu
you.
All right, there you go.
I'll move in with you.
There you go. I got Dark coming over. It's the only way to get him there is to hit the goddamn lotto.
Exactly.
If I moved
It's-
over there with
it's
just a
true.
job promotion, he'd have his house for sale the next day. Listen,
It's true.
the
So
great.
true.
Let me start with the great Dark Optimus. Dark, honestly, you know I love having you here, man. You definitely put a different spin on what's going on in normal podcasts and on Twitter, but I love having you. Let people know where they can find you, and of course, whether you like it or not, I'm going to bother the shit out of you for at least another 2 weeks to get you back on the show.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Anonymous. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And yeah, man, it's always a blast being on the podcast with you, man. Hopefully you keep this going for years to come, man.
Hope
But,
it's so,
you
man.
know,
We're gonna.
we- We understand if eventually you get to that point where you're like, man, fuck this shit.
You know, it's funny. It's funny. I've only made. Listen, I don't ever keep track of the numbers, but after last week's show, somebody said, "Hey, Mooch, how many podcasts have you done?" I did not go through and count them all, but I went onto my channel and it said you have 444 videos. Meaning, it's podcasts, everything. I can tell you guys, and you guys know this for being a part of the channel for so long. I've only made probably like a dozen,
Like maybe
maybe
15.
12 or 15 videos, like, news videos or reviews. So
Which I like those
I-
videos, and I wish you'd do more of
I,
them. But
I appreciate that, Dark. Thank you. But that means I'm well over 400 podcasts already. We're going to have to do something big for the 500th. I'll just have to sit there and count to make sure I get the right number. We'll have to do a big giveaway. But, we're going to change up CrossFire a little bit. We're going to be doing some on-cam stuff. I've been even talking to the Jez. I'm trying to reach out to guys that are in the community that do podcasts that want to come on, and I'm encouraging on cam. Doesn't mean you have to. If you don't want to, you don't do it. But I'd like to do that.
I'll get on cam, dude.
Dark,
Hell
you're
yeah.
all over the place. I see you more
I
on
know.
Twitter than I see Tom Cruise. You're
It's true.
everywhere, dude. I love it. Dark's one of the people that encouraged me to do it. But yeah, we're gonna switch it up a little bit, guys. But the great Jez 7780. Jez, thanks for jumping on and joining us last
anytime,
minute.
man.
I love your takes on things. The show you do is growing leaps and bounds to the Gaming Grindhouse. Love every second of it. Shout out to Frogs, by the way, too. He's a great co-host. He is. He really is great.
He was wilding on Monday, man. He was going crazy.
I can't get enough of him. So
It was hilarious.
Jez, let people know where they can find you, brother. And thanks again for jumping on the show.
No problem, guys. Awesome show. I was just hanging out, just chatting. Friday night's awesome after a crazy week of work, man. Thanks again. But yeah, hit that like button, everybody. You could follow me over on Jez7780. GMG grinds my gears over on the YouTube, and Jez7780 on Twitter. Gaming Grindhouse on Monday nights at 8 o'clock with Frogs. Dope Gaming. He was wild last night. On Monday, he was he had a little bit of Phil Ness. It only had a 30-minute half-life, so he came to his senses. But then I just saw he bought the PlayStation strap-on, so now I'm like, uh-oh, Frog's in trouble. I got to shake him loose.
I saw that. I saw that. You bought that.
So now I got the
Well, we gotta hear a full review from
We'll
him
hear
on the
a
show.
yes,
please.
we will hear a review about that. Man, I was joking with them earlier, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, follow me over there, hit the like button, and follow these gentlemen. Awesome show. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. And speaking of special thanks, shout out to the great Slow-Mo Backslap for being here. Slow-Mo literally grinding the midnight oil at work, literally until he came on this show. I'm not sure if the man even ate dinner yet. Slow-Mo, thank you so much for doing the show, man. I appreciate it, man. I looked at today's topics, and I'm like, I just know the guy who's not going to be bashful on any of these, and that's Slow-Mo Backslap. Slow-Mo, let people know where they can find you. Great DPS last night. I tweeted it out a bunch of times just because it was phenomenal. Let people know where they can find you. And again, thank you so much for being here tonight, especially since you were working late.
Hey, no problem at all. Great show, great panel, great chat as well. You guys can find me at Slow-Mo Backslap on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter of the same name. Like as Mooch said, we had Damage Per Second podcast last night with Gaming Forte, and One Bad Mother was a guest with us.
Yes, he
and
was.
We had a good time. We had a very like One Bad was like, this isn't going to be a 3-hour podcast. I was like, oh, it's not gonna be 3 hours. It was 3 hour and 15-minute podcast. Yes, but it was a good time.
I haven't
You
been
can
invited to that podcast. I'm just saying.
well, maybe all right. Just say you want to come on the podcast, Dark. That's all you gotta say.
That's all you gotta say, man. It's simple.
But no, look, Dark will get you in for sure. Yeah, but again, look, come check out the show. We had a great time, and guys, enjoy your games. Have a great weekend.
Yes, and let me say a special thank you out to the Crap Gamer guys. Crap had to leave at 8:30 today. I'm even talking to him during the show right now. We're going to just DM him back and forth. Yes, Crap won't be a regular on, but he's got a lot going on. But I will be getting Crap on the show. It's going to be weird to say as a guest, but he knows that he's always got a key to the Discord and the show, so he can just come on whenever the hell he wants to. But nonetheless, shout out to the great Crap Gamer. It's _Crap Gamer on Twitter, and it's Crap Gamer Reviews over on YouTube. Shout out to the great SirXMan who's feeling better. Go check him out. It's SirXMan on Twitter. And also the great Big Cloud Gaming, who's just, it's like watching a seed that you've watered and it blossoms. I didn't water it. I'm just saying he did it himself. The man is absolutely blowing up. He's doing IGN reviews. He's got amazing guests on his channel. Go over and check out Big Cloud Gaming. He's just a wonderful, wonderful person in the community that constantly helps people. Including myself, just a wonderful guy. Guys, that being said, let me say this much. Thank you so much to Skills Axe, who just subbed. Guys, please, we're so close to 11,000. Like, I'm literally like 4 or 5 subscriptions away from 11,000 at this point. Please, if you're listening right now and you love the show and you come every week, hit the subscribe button. We are going to be changing up the format here. Like I said, some weeks will be like this. Some weeks are going to be on cam. And you know what? Great compliment by the great Dark Optimus. I need those compliments to kind of get my ass in gear and start making some more videos. So maybe that'll happen. We'll see what's going on as we approach into the...
It's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen at all, but I like to think I would. By the time we... but it's just so hard.
How many years have I told you that, Mooch? I've been telling you for years.
Dark, you know what it is? Every single time I get excited to do it, I start writing... guys, I literally mean this. I have so many
You
scripts.
realize it's a pain in the ass, right?
It is.
Like,
I have scripts written about what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do, and then I start to do it, and then I get halfway through it, and I stop, and I'm like, because you got to work, and shout out to Gaming with Persona. I got the kids, I got work, I got this, and I want a game. Sometimes when you got some time at night, I want a game. I got a wife and kids. You know what I mean? So, no, nonetheless, guys, we will be getting back to all of that. Thanks to everybody. Again, Xbot448 will be back next week. He was working, and BRAP will be back next week. BRAP was on vacation. So shout out to all those guys as well. BRAP Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Xbot with next podcast Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Guys, we'll see you next Friday, 7. Oh, actually, no, I apologize. Next week, I'm on vacation. I'm away next weekend. So we won't have a show next Friday. August 5th, there's no show. We'll be back, I believe it is on the 12th. Maybe, I might do this end copy at Dark Optimus. I can't wait. I might do a small, like a 5 or 6 minute video, because I want to remind people that we won't be having a show. So I might put something out quickly next week, and I'll at Dark Optimus all week long with it. It'll be great. Guys, thank you very much. Please hit the like button, guys. Please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Love everybody. Game on. Peace.
Yeah.
Later, everyone.